Chapter 605. There were a total of 5 rounds of battles. Every round had 3 battles, and the time was fixed. It wasn't possible that just because someone hadn't entered the virtual universe network, the battles would be delayed. That was definitely impossible. As long as the battle times were announced, if one side didn't even enter the virtual universe network, then it would be judged as forfeiting. Simultaneously, the other side would automatically win that battle. Hence, this battle, Luo Feng won without even fighting. 5 consecutive wins. 5 points, a 100% chance of winning first place. How can this be? Standing in the air above the primordial forest, Luo Feng's expression was complicated. For this final battle, he had long prepared to give it his all. This battle, it wasn't that he had no chance of winning. Even if he lost, Luo Feng would happily face it. However, who would have thought that the final outcome would be like this? So, Luo Feng was immediately transported out of the battlefield. Within the bar in Yuxiang Mountain, the screen in the bar was displaying Luo Feng against Luo Fu. The battle has yet to begin. Please wait a moment. However, it suddenly changed to another notification. Luo Feng against Luo Fu. As Luo Fu hasn't entered the virtual universe network within the stipulated time, he has forfeited. Luo Feng wins this battle. The bar was filled with clamor. Just as they were discussing why the battle between Luo Feng and Luo Fu hadn't begun, the notification on the screen suddenly changed, causing the clamor to immediately go silent. Silence. The geniuses from the various universe countries gathered in the bar were all stunned, dumbfounded. It was just like the football World Cup back on Earth. Everyone was anticipating the battles. When the final and most attention-grabbing battle was about to begin, suddenly one of the teams met with a car accident. Many of the players were heavily injured, crippled, etc., causing the team to have no choice but to forfeit. This was simply a fatal joke. What's going on? What joke is this? Is this for real? After the silence, the entire bar erupted. The final battle, the battle that decides the slots for the primal region. Why hasn't that Luo Fu entered the virtual universe network? No one doubted the notifications on the screen before, because these notifications were all from a virtual universe system, and the virtual universe system, in the eyes of the entire human race, it would never be wrong. He would rather believe 1 trillion people were wrong than doubt the virtual universe network. Even Su Xin, who was watching from the corner of the bar, was a bit shocked. She thought that Luo Feng would lose, and she thought that Luo Feng would win, but she never thought that he would win in this way. The primal region slot battle, universe level, had ended. The 15 battles had ended too. Luo Feng won 5 times consecutively, obtaining first place and a primal region slot. Mo Luo, Luo Fu, Yu Feng, Long Yun, and Bolin entered the absolute beginning secret realm. The results of the contest naturally spread very quickly. As for Luo Feng entering the primal region, the core circle of geniuses of the virtual universe company was still able to accept it. Because even though the last battle was a bit unfair, Luo Feng still won all 4 of his previous battles. To be able to defeat Mo Luo and Yu Feng, it proved that Luo Feng had the strength of a primal region member. Secondly, Luo Feng had only joined the virtual universe company for a short period of time. This was his first qualification battle, and he was able to perform so shockingly well against the seniors that had trained for thousands of years. In the eyes of the geniuses watching the battle, his talent was probably even stronger than Luo Fu's. As long as he had a few more qualification battles, Luo Feng would definitely make it into the primal region. Hence, for an absolute genius like Luo Feng to enter the primal region, everyone could accept it. However, what everyone couldn't accept and couldn't understand was, why didn't Luo Fu enter the virtual universe at such a crucial moment? If he gave up, there were many geniuses that felt they were too weak in the qualification battles and gave up. However, they all gave up before the battle. Situations like Luo Fu's were very rare. The news of Luo Feng entering the primal region spread. Everyone had different reactions. Some were incomparably happy, like his teacher Tru Yin. He laughed heartily. "Ha! This good disciple of mine actually made it into the primal region in his first qualification battle. Good. Some were gritting their teeth within, like the former primal region member Mo Luo, who was eliminated from the absolute beginning region. Mo Luo gritted his teeth hatefully. This Luo Feng actually got such good luck that Kaluo Fu is an idiot too. He actually didn't come at such a crucial moment. Could it be that he's really dead? Some were shocked, like one of the Undyings in Demon Note Mountain. Piyu frowned. This punk actually didn't die, and even made it into the primal region? That group of idiots from the 1,000 Star sect, they're all useless. Some were filled with respect, like the geniuses from the last phase in sky and land regions that entered with Luo Feng. They were all excited. Who said the newbies are weak? Luo Feng from the same batch as me. Didn't he also make it into the primal region? What are you saying? It's because Kaluo Fu gave up. Bullshit. Even if Kaluo Fu can defeat Luo Feng this time, he'll definitely be surpassed by Luo Feng in the future. To be able to obtain the primal region slot, it was simply an amazing and joyous matter. Like Rongjun, Wuka, and his other friends, like his brothers Hong and Thunder God, along with his family, parents, wife and children, little brother, etc., all came to congratulate him. Even the Black Dragon Mountain Empire and Ganwu Universe Country sent people to congratulate the Luo family. Joyous matter? It's a joyous matter. However, I can't feel excited within. Luo Feng sat in his study, his emotions complicated. The most crucial battle of the qualification battles, Kaluo Fu actually gave up. This was like a thorn in his side, making him feel like this slot wasn't that easy to obtain. Of course, the primal region chance was incomparably precious. Since he got it, Luo Feng wouldn't give it up. Luo Feng hadn't reached such a stage yet. Luo Feng, don't look for trouble. Others will think of all sorts of methods for the opportunities, whether it's bribing or killing, just like that Mo Luo who directly dealt with you. For victory, they will do anything. That Kaluo Fu didn't appear was because he didn't grasp the opportunity. Who can he blame? Babata said, "Don't think too much. Those lone warriors with little resources and opportunities are risking their lives just for that little chance. Your teacher back then fought his way through step by step. What nonsense are you thinking now?" "I understand." Luo Feng nodded. "Naturally, I won't give up the opportunity one got. However, there's a thorn in my side. Why didn't that Kaluo Fu appear? 1, he's dead. 2, he's being held back by something. 3, he gave up due to special reasons. Just these 3 situations. Why are you thinking so much?" The fist-sized Babata on his shoulder said. Luo Feng nodded. However, he was filled with suspicion within. Why didn't Kaluo Fu appear at the crucial moment? Was he really dead? The second day after the competition ended, Luo Feng had to move out of the absolute beginning region and into the primal region of Yuxiang Mountain. Absolute beginning region, within Luo Feng's villa. Luo Feng, Wuka, Rongjun, Ai, Chun, Qian Shui, and a group of friends gathered. It was a form of congratulations and also a form of farewell to Luo Feng. After his friends left one by one, Luo Feng sat alone on the beautiful sofa in the living room, surveying his surroundings. He had stayed here for a very, very long time. "I have to leave," Luo Feng thought. Luo Feng, there's a mail. It's from the Virtual Universe Company." Babata shouted from his shoulder. "Ah." Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, swiftly tapping the space before him. A screen appeared, and he swiftly opened a mail on the screen and opened it. The mail opened. Declaration: the qualification battles, universe level, for the primal region slots. The last one to give up, Kaluo Fu, had been carrying out the impossible level mission during the entire process. The impossible level mission has a death rate of 90%. It's extremely dangerous. According to the fact that he hasn't entered the virtual universe for so long, Kaluo Fu may very well have fallen in the mission. Here's a serious reminder. The training missions are very important to every universe level member. However, one has to choose what they can handle. Exceeding one's limits may very well result in death. The impossible level missions have caused many absolute geniuses to fall in history. The universe level primal region members who have fallen Almost half of them have fallen in the impossible level missions. It's still the same message to everyone. The company has prepared many resources for everyone, and the path is up to you all to choose. What? Looking at the mail, Luo Feng was shocked. This Kaluo Fu has actually been carrying out the impossible level mission during the competition. Impossible level. It was extremely dangerous. Even he had only entered the Devil Note Mountain, the only Devil Mountain within the Devil Mountains. The reason why he was able to safely pass it was because of his willpower that far surpassed the other geniuses and the Masha clansmen. It had a lot to do with it. If not for the Masha clansmen, Luo Feng would have died. And it was very hard to find a safe place to carry out the impossible level missions. Like Luo Feng, he relied on the Masha clansmen and was extremely lucky, reaching the core inheritance palace. Only then could he safely send a large portion of his consciousness into the virtual universe network. If not for my trump cards that are very suitable for Demon Note Mountain, I'm afraid I would have died in the impossible level mission. Luo Feng thought. Even if that Kaluo Fu was in the competition, he would probably still be extremely cautious in reality. Like the company's announcement, he may very well have fallen. Whether Kaluo Fu was dead or alive, even the Virtual Universe Company couldn't confirm it in a short period of time. As the worlds of the impossible level missions were usually very dangerous, for the Virtual Universe Company to confirm Kaluo Fu's death, it wasn't something they could do in a short period of time. Just like Luo Feng's disappearance for many years, the Virtual Universe Company couldn't confirm it either. Luo Feng was shocked when he saw the announcement, and the core geniuses who were originally unhappy with the last battle were completely shocked too. Chapter 606. This was Tomato's promise to maintain 3 chapters a day during the free period. However, he didn't sleep at all last night because he wanted to catch a plane early in the morning so that he could finish this chapter. However, Tomato couldn't take it anymore. He would sleep for a while first. Chapter 607. Wolfman Kaluo Fu was going through the impossible level mission and still participating in the qualification battles. The elites of the Primal region and Absolute Beginning region were all shocked that this Wolfman Kaluo Fu was really tired of living, daring to do such a dangerous thing. The impossible level was a taboo for the universe level members of Yuxiang Mountain. Impossible situations, 9 out of 10 would die. Who would dare to split a large portion of their consciousness to enter the virtual universe network in such a situation? Your Majesty, Your Majesty! Within the villa, the Sector Lord Ao Duo led the group of guards, as well as the other servants all bowed respectfully to Luo Feng. Luo Feng walked out of the living room and looked at the group of servants and guards before him, feeling a little emotional. As he was about to move to the Primal region, he naturally had to separate from his subordinates. He immediately said, Ao Duo, your group and I have been friends for close to 200 years. After today, even though you are no longer my guards, you are still my friends. Your Majesty. Sector Lord Ao Duo and the group were excited when they heard these words. Primal region members had extremely high positions and authority, much higher than Ao Duo and the rest. Yet Luo Feng could still say these words. Even though it was just for show, it still made them feel warm within. Everyone seems to miss me. Huh, who knows when I'll be kicked out of the Primal region again? Luo Feng joked. When that time comes, I'll still need you to be my guards. How can you say that if your Majesty can enter the Primal region, you won't be kicked out again? Ao Duo said. Competition will always exist. Nothing is absolute. Luo Feng smiled and shook his head. All right, everyone, we've been friends for a while. We'll bid farewell here. After which, Luo Feng rushed into the sky. Ao Duo and the over 100 guards and even more servants watched as Luo Feng's silhouette vanished into the horizon, all of them exclaiming within. They were weak, their positions were low, they could only be treated as guards and servants. And Luo Feng was the true absolute elite that the upper echelon of the Virtual Universe Company valued. A few normal undyings in the eyes of the upper echelon couldn't even compare to these absolute geniuses. After bidding farewell to Lady Fox, he left the absolute beginning region. After a while, he arrived at the primal region. The primal region's entrance was even more majestic than the absolute beginning region. It was made of an ancient gray stone carving. Your Majesty Luophone. The white-haired, white-robed old man seemed to brighten up the surrounding space and make it much warmer. He was like a sun, warming everyone who approached him. Welcome to the primordial area and become a member of the primordial secret area. Thanks, Luophone smiled and nodded. I'm AI Tua, the manager of the primal region. The white-robed old man's hair that was even whiter than snow fluttered in the wind. Please follow me, Your Majesty Luophone. Luophone followed AI Tua and flew into the air. And at the entrance of the primal region, the sector lords that followed behind AI Tua and bowed respectfully were all discussing this new Majesty Luophone. In midair, Luophone and AI Tua flew in midair. As they flew, Luophone looked down and was surprised to feel a powerful law fluctuation coming from below. Your Majesty Luophone. AI Tua smiled as he saw that. The biggest difference between the primal region and absolute beginning region is that the primal region has more undyings living here. Firstly, every primal region's majesty will have a guard army. AI Tua said, there will be an undying commander leading this guard army. And every primal region majesty can choose an undying teacher to stay in their villa for a long period of time. Hence, the number of undyings here is much higher than the primal region majesties. Luophone couldn't help but nod. It was indeed so. Within the guard army, there was an undying and an undying teacher. Every majesty had at least 2 undyings following them. The entire primal region has a total of 113 villas. AI Tua pointed at the endless villas below. There are 100 sector lord majesties, 10 domain lord majesties, and 3 universe-level majesties. Every one of them is our virtual universe company's most precious treasure. Luophone nodded. Right. A sector lord's lifespan was as long as 1,000 eras. Within 1,000 eras, the entire 1,008 universe countries only absorbed 113 majesties. One could see how high the position of every one of them was, far beyond normal undyings. Of course, sector lords still had to stay in the primal region. The difficulty was considered the highest. The two flew through the air. They flew past many villas that occupied up to 1,000 kilometers. Finally, after a while, AI 2O's flying speed slowed down. That Villa 113 is Your Majesty Luophong's villa. AI 2O pointed at the vast villa. Luophone looked down. The walls of the villa were like an endless mountain range, extending all the way to the end of one's vision. Just in terms of area, this villa was larger than any country on Earth. Of course, in the vast universe, undyings that made a planet their own territory could be seen everywhere. Undyings had god countries, and the god countries were incomparably vast. Hence to the undyings, making a planet into a manor was rather simple. So, AI 2O and Luophone landed at the entrance of the villa. At the entrance of this majestic villa, there were groups of people forming up. With one look, there were at least tens of thousands of people. At the front of the groups stood a bald man completely covered in a black robe. This bald man's eyebrows had silver scales and engravings. Your Majesty, the bald man bowed. Greetings, Your Highness. The thousands of powerful warriors behind him all knelt down on one knee respectfully. Greetings, Your Majesty. The tens of thousands of servants all knelt down, extremely humble and respectful. These servants were specially selected and nurtured by the Virtual Universe Company, used to serve the true core members of the company. To these servants, to be able to serve a primal region majesty was their honor. Your Majesty Luophone, this is the leader of your guards. Dylan. AI Toal pointed at the bald man and said, Dylan is an undying that specializes in the soul aspect. His strength is extremely strong. Amongst the many army generals, he's considered one of the top. Luophone was shocked within. As he followed his teacher, True Yin Emperor, Luo Feng was very clear on the strength distribution, according to position, general, official, and emperor. And under the virtual universe company, an official level undying could easily kill a group of normal undyings. Hence, from a most normal undying to the official level, the difference in strength was huge. This caused the difference in strength between the undying generals to be huge. The weak belonged to the normal undyings. The strong were even close to the official level. The top isn't that close to the official level. Luo Feng was shocked within, and he specializes in the soul aspect. Such a powerful general. How did he become the leader of my guards? Your Majesty, my teacher is Bloodthirsty Emperor. The bald man bowed. Third senior. Luo Feng was shocked. True Yin Emperor's lifespan was extremely long. At least Luo Feng wasn't sure how long his teacher had lived for. However, it was definitely much longer than Mist Emperor. And his teacher was extremely cautious in taking in disciples. Unless they were talented or suited to his temperament, he wouldn't take them. However, the path to undying was extremely tough. Becoming an emperor was even harder. Of True Yan's disciples, only the third was an emperor. The ancestor is very concerned about the junior master. A voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. He's worried that when he reaches the domain lord level, he'll go out and explore. Hence, he arranged for a trustworthy person to be the leader of the guards. I sent the request. The other generals aren't as strong as me. Naturally, it was approved. Luo Feng looked at the bald man and couldn't help but smile. He was actually this undying's junior master. With this layer of relationship, Luo Feng immediately felt that the bald man before him was much more pleasing to the eye. However, Luo Feng decided to contact his teacher True Yin Emperor when he returns. Mr. Dylan, I'll have to trouble you in the future. Luo Feng said, This is my duty. Dylan also bowed slightly. Ha! Your Majesty Luo Feng. Dylan is the leader of your guards and also the manager of this villa. I'll leave the other matters to you. I'll leave first. If there's anything you need my help with, feel free to find me. Ai Tua smiled. Thank you, Mr. Ai Tua. Luo Feng expressed his gratitude, after which this white-haired old man became a beam of light and left. Your Majesty, please follow me. The bald Dylan led the way and began to bring Luo Feng around the villa to familiarize himself with it. Within the training grounds of the villa, Luo Feng stood there respectfully. Before him floated a screen, and on it was the golden-armored ape-man, True Yin Emperor. Teacher, Luo Feng bowed respectfully. I met Dylan. True Yin laughed loudly. When Luo Feng heard that, he immediately calmed down. Dylan seemed to be his disciple. When you enter the domain lord level in the future, you'll be sent out and wield great authority. True Yin said on the screen. Authority will involve many things you can't even imagine. When that time comes, you'll have a glorious side and a dangerous side. Many that you can't even imagine now. Some of the dangers may be even more terrifying than the dangers you can discover at the impossible level. Luo Feng was shocked. And with my temper, I've made many enemies. True Yin said, Of course, those trash bugs don't dare mess with me. However, I'm worried they'll mess with you. Enemies? Luo Feng was shocked. After being sent out, it won't be as safe as being in the virtual universe company's core. True Yin said, Of course they won't dare come out openly. Because the moment I find out, they'll all die. True Yin's natural domineering aura didn't make one feel it was domineering at all. Instead, it made sense. Teacher, if you have enemies, why don't you kill them? Luo Feng asked. True Yin's expression seemed awkward, following which he said, Disciple, I don't usually drag things out. If I want to say something, I'll say it and do it. Back then I've killed many, scolded many, unintentionally offended many too. As for who I've offended, I'm not too sure myself. Anyway, these are all small matters. However, there will always be people who remember. Luo Feng was speechless. However, no one dares to come out openly. Those who do are all dead. True Yin smiled and said, Let's not talk about this. There's one more important thing. Now that you've entered the primal region, You have the right to choose an undying teacher to stay by your side and guide you. This is a rare opportunity. P.S. Chapter 2 has ended. Tomato will continue writing the third. My head feels much better now. Chapter 608. This I know. Luo Feng nodded. To be able to stay here and teach him, even if he had a teacher, there were very few who would follow him. This was a rare opportunity. Luo Feng naturally knew this. Everyone knows this. Tru Yin couldn't help but say, however, there's a trick to choosing a teacher. Trick? Luo Feng was curious. According to what he knew, wasn't it just to send out a request and ask for a teacher that was proficient in gold and space laws or spirit weapons? The teachers of the Primal Region members had to be at least an official level undying. Even though the Emperor-level undyings and Universe Country leaders could come and give personal guidance, it was still too early to be an expert. However, those important figures had to be willing. The Virtual Universe Company had no way to force them. And those important figures, even Tru Yin, couldn't always stay by Luo Feng's side. Hence, the teachers were usually official-level undyings. Of course, there's a trick. Tru Yin smiled. I know. You really want to find an undying teacher that's proficient in gold and space laws. Luo Feng nodded. However, there are many of these undyings. If the Virtual Universe Company sends one over, you can only accept it. Tru Yin smiled. How to find a best and most suitable teacher for you? I'll have to make a move. One person could have many teachers. However, their status was different. If one truly went to pay respects to a teacher, their relationship would be much closer. Like Tru Yin, and those teachers that purely taught public classes, Luo Feng only went to listen to them. Their relationship would naturally be much more distant. And those that the Virtual Universe Company arranged to stay in the villa and teach Luo Feng, their relationship would be close too. However, they didn't require Luo Feng to pay respects. When you go back and write your request, after the normal request, add this. On the screen, Tru Yin smiled. You say that you respect the undying Bubulu a lot, and hope that Bubulu can be your teacher. Bubulu? Luo Feng understood immediately. It should be some powerful figure. I'll pass if I write it. Luo Feng was curious. Sending undyings as teachers required the undyings to be willing. Master will deal with them. Tru Yin laughed on the screen. Thank you, teacher. Luo Feng was touched within. This was a teacher. In the universe, the relationship between master and disciple surpassed that of bloodline. This was because the longer one lived, the more it was like living for billions of years. Even if they had the ability to allow their loved ones to live for 1,000 eras, their loved ones would still die one day. When the closest relatives died one by one, the descendants who were separated by who knew how many generations might die of old age after only seeing each other a few times. How could their relationship be compared to that of master and disciple? Master and disciple. The teacher taught the disciple, and the disciple became stronger. Perhaps the disciple could become a powerful helper of the teacher in the future. And for Tru Yin to seriously help his disciple plan step by step, it was definitely something he would do to pamper his disciple. That day, Luo Feng immediately sent a mail to submit his request. The request was according to his teacher, Tru Yin's instructions. First, he described his request, followed by some words of respect for the undying Bubulu. In reality, Luo Feng had never heard of this Bubulu before his teacher mentioned him. Bubu, based on what teacher said, this Bubulu is an official level undying. Luo Feng thought, an undying that could barely be called an emperor. Luo Feng thought, an undying that could barely be called an emperor was considered a big figure in the universe. Back then, the one that killed his teacher, Huyin Bo, was just barely an emperor. Such a being, staying in his villa and teaching him. On the third day, Luo Feng received the mail. The content was that the official level undying Bubulu was willing to be his teacher. About 10 days later, Bubula finally arrived at Luo Feng's villa. At the entrance of the villa, beside Luo Feng followed the bald Dylan, quietly waiting for Bubulu to arrive. He's here, Dylan said softly. Ah, Luo Feng immediately looked carefully. In the distance, a golden flowing light instantly pierced through the sky and landed on the ground in front of Luo Feng, revealing a silhouette. This was a dwarf with messy hair that was close to 1.6 tall. There was a faint smell of alcohol on his body. His gaze was reserved and occasionally flashed with madness. Luo Feng thought within. Bubulu? This dwarf that wasn't even 1.6 tall? Even though he had such a thought, Luo Feng remained respectful. His teacher and the leader of the guards were different. An official level Undying's position was extremely high too. Luo Feng's primal region status allowed him to speak equally with the dwarf. However, he didn't have the ability to suppress him. You are Luo Feng? The dwarf glanced at Luo Feng. Luo Feng greets teacher Bubula. Luo Feng bowed respectfully. At least you're polite. The dwarf looked at Dylan beside. Dylan too bowed respectfully. Greetings, Lord Bubula. Dylan was very strong. He was close to an official, or barely an official, and Bubulu could barely be an emperor. The difference in strength was like heaven and earth. Truly, an emperor really dotes on this disciple of his. The dwarf took big strides into the villa. Luo Feng and Dylan followed behind. I don't really know how to teach disciples. The dwarf took big strides and said loudly. However, only Luo Feng and Dylan could hear his voice. The distant sector lords, domain lords, and universe level guards couldn't hear anything at all. I'm most proficient in using my claws. That's why I'll use my claw arts to help you comprehend the origin laws of space and origin laws of metal on your own. I'll also help you comprehend how to fuse them. Yes. Luo Feng listened respectfully. Claw. The Golden Horn Beast's most proficient trump card was the Tearing Sky First Claw. According to the Golden Horn Beast's inherited memories, Tearing Sky and Land, combined with the ancient pictures and the Beast God statue's ancient conception, this claw technique could be said to be Luo Feng's most proficient technique. It was even more proficient than spirit weapons and blades. Of course, using a human body to unleash claw techniques was slightly weaker. However, with a strong foundation, he could still be considered an expert. The dwarf looked at Luo Feng and finally smiled. Not bad. You're quite obedient. I like smart and obedient disciples. Let's go to your training grounds. I'll get a feel of your foundation and see how your origin law comprehension is and if you've taken the wrong path. Of course, you're following your teacher, true Yin Emperor. Even if you take the wrong path, it shouldn't be too far off. Yes. Luo Feng immediately walked towards the training grounds. Within the training grounds, the dwarf Bubulu and Luo Feng were both in the training grounds. Simulate the scene into space. Bubulu instructed. Luo Feng immediately obeyed. The entire training grounds scenery changed, becoming a vast universe space. Of course, as the training ground space was only so big, hence this universe space, Luo Feng could only move within a 100 kilometers radius. The dwarf Bubulu and Luo Feng stood in space. Go! The dwarf Bubulu instructed, go unleash all your origin law comprehension, whether it's using a spirit weapon or close combat, it doesn't matter. With your current comprehension, no matter how you unleash it, I'll be able to see through it with one look. Yes, teacher. Luo Feng became a blur and began unleashing his claw techniques in space. Who? His fingers curved like a beast's claw. His entire being was like a demon, almost like a beast wantonly waving its claws in midair. Those sharp claws tore through the surrounding universe space. The powerful claw energy even formed glaring golden claws. They howled through the universe space. The dwarf Bubulu was initially very casual. However, as he watched, his face revealed shock. After a while, Luo Feng became a golden light and landed beside Bubulu. Teacher, please comment. Luo Feng said respectfully. You know claw techniques too? The dwarf Bubula looked at Luo Feng with a sense of fondness in his eyes. To an absolute warrior, finding a suitable disciple was actually very difficult. Before, the dwarf Bubulu had investigated Luo Feng's information. Knowing that Luo Feng was a spirit reader, he wasn't too happy about it. However, with True Yan's appearance, even though Bubulu was arrogant. In front of this emperor-level undying, an ancient being that was infinitely close to a universe country leader. He didn't dare be arrogant at all. What's more, he indeed had a favor to ask of True Yin. Hence, after a round of discussion, he immediately agreed. Even if Luo Feng was a spirit reader, he would still teach him. However, after discovering that Luo Feng was actually proficient in claw techniques, the dwarf Bubulu was willing from the bottom of his heart. In terms of close combat, I've spent quite a bit of effort too. Luo Feng said, "No wonder True Yin values you so much. In a short 200 years, your improvement is so shocking. And you're also training in close combat?" The dwarf Bubulu smiled. "Your claw techniques are not bad. I'm still quite a distance away from Luo Fu." Luo Feng said, "It's not the same." Bubulu shook his head. "I've gathered some information and seen a few of your videos. I know that Luo Fu too. His claw techniques are very powerful. However, his claw techniques are off track." Luo Feng was curious. "Your claw techniques, however, have unlimited potential." The dwarf Bubulu looked satisfactorily at Luo Feng. "I don't need to correct you at all. Since you know claw techniques, then it's even easier to learn. From now on, I'll begin teaching you a claw technique 3000 space. It's a technique I created myself. Through this technique, you'll be able to properly comprehend the gold and space laws." "Yes," Luo Feng replied respectfully. The dwarf Bubulu nodded satisfactorily. Originally, because of his relationship with True Yin, Bubulu thought he just had to be a little more serious. However, seeing such a perfect genius in claw techniques, he was moved. The first thing he did was teach Luo Feng his famous technique 3000 space. Bubulu didn't know it all. Luo Feng's claw techniques were actually inherited from the beast god statue. Of course, they were walking the true path. From this day on, Luo Feng specially split 50% of his consciousness to study with the dwarf Bubulu. After studying, he let the golden horned beast within his internal world continue to comprehend. This also made Bubulu realize Luo Feng's comprehension speed was simply too shocking. The other 50% of his consciousness continued to receive the demon note inheritance. P.S. 3 chapters finished. It's late. I'm preparing to go play in the Stellar Transformation game for a while before going to sleep. Poor me, I'm not even level 13 yet, much slower than my wife. Chapter 609. Tomato said that he would update 3 chapters a day during the free period, but he couldn't take it anymore today. He had a headache yesterday and slept for a while. He only managed to get it out in the middle of the night. He had finally updated 3 chapters yesterday. But today, Tomato had the dizziness and pain after running for 1,000 meters. He couldn't immerse himself in writing. He couldn't take it anymore. "I want to sleep now. I hope it will be better tomorrow. If it's better tomorrow, I'll work hard to update 6 chapters. I'll write everything for tomorrow and today. I hope everyone can understand." If it wasn't for the fact that he couldn't take it anymore, he wouldn't rest. Chapter 610. Demon Note Mountain. The 32 inheritance palaces all had people accepting the inheritances. The main reason was because back then Luo Feng suddenly snatched Mist Emperor's spot. This shocked the other Undyings who should have received the spot. All of them strongly requested from the Great Alliance, eventually entering the inheritance palace earlier. 32 inheritance palaces, a total of 31 Undyings, and 1 universe level 9 youth. Within the inheritance palace, many levels of stairs continued to extend upwards, extending into the depths of space. The palace was still there. The 2316th level. Luo Feng was like a statue as he stood on the black stone platform. Half of his consciousness was on the golden horned beast's body, combining it with his teacher Bubulu's 3000 space to study the mysteries of the beast god statue. If he encountered any problems he couldn't solve, he could ask Bubulu. Level 2316th, success. Luo Feng's statue suddenly opened his eyes gleaming with glee. Even though there was a qualification battle before, it didn't affect me accepting the inheritance at all. Luo Feng was elated within. Suddenly a silhouette appeared in his mind. Just like him, Kaluo Fu was also in the qualification battles. He was also in the impossible level missions. However, Kaluo Fu wasn't as lucky as him. It's been 2 years. It's been almost 2 years since the qualification battles. Yet there's still no news of Kaluo Fu. Luo Feng frowned. There's no way to confirm if he's alive or dead. Whether he was alive or dead was indeed very hard to confirm, especially in the impossible level missions and special environments. If Luo Feng was killed in Demon Note Mountain, or even had his body destroyed and his treasure stolen, then how would the Virtual Universe Company confirm if he was alive or dead? The more special the environment, the harder it was to confirm if he was alive or dead. Close to 2 years, Kaluo Fu hasn't been able to enter the Virtual Universe Network. He didn't show up during the qualification battles and lost. If he was still alive, he should have entered the Virtual Universe Network once. At least explain the situation to his friends. Don't tell me, he's really dead? Luo Feng frowned, suddenly thinking of something. His heart couldn't help but jump. That was close. These consecutive cultivation missions have given me great benefits, but has also made me even more arrogant and ambitious. Luckily, I've woken up now. Luo Feng's eyes flashed with fear. In that Blood River World mission, he had gained huge benefits. The other dangerous level missions that followed, Luo Feng only completed the basic requirements. He didn't explore the secrets of the mission worlds. And ever since he acquired the Demon Note inheritance from the impossible level mission, Luo Feng had excitedly deduced one theory. Those special mission worlds probably had some secrets. Those secrets probably represented great opportunities. After understanding this, Luo Feng was a bit regretful. He regretted that he didn't investigate the other dangerous level missions. However, at this time, thinking about Kaluo Fu, Luo Feng was shocked awake. I was too blind. The requirements of every cultivation mission are already extremely dangerous. For example, obtaining 3 Blood River crystals in Blood River World and fusing them to become a Blood Warrior. To the universe level 9 geniuses, it's still very dangerous and difficult. After all, if you're not careful, you'll be hunted down by the domain Lord level aboriginals, and you can't even use technological weapons, etc. Luo Feng thought, if I were to search for the secrets of the ancient god ruins or the beast god statue, I'd definitely die. And Demon Note Mountain, surviving there for 3 years is already an impossible level mission. In these 3 years, even if I can avoid the terrifying Demon Note, I might still meet Sector Lord level aboriginals or even Sector Lord level beasts. Surviving for 3 years is indeed an impossible level mission. And to acquire the Demon Note inheritance, this is basically a suicide mission. Luo Feng's forehead was beaded with cold sweat. The place where the Demon Note inheritance was located, even Sector Lords would die without a doubt. Even Undyings had to be relatively strong Undyings to be able to dodge those terrifying beasts. If I didn't have the Masha clansmen, I'd definitely die. Luo Feng's forehead was beaded with sweat. My luck this time is so good. However, the next time might not be the same. The other impossible level missions probably have some huge secrets too. And those huge secrets, if I want to explore them and gain huge benefits, the danger level probably isn't any lower than Demon Note Mountain. Demon Note Mountain has beasts. Their consciousness is low. However, the other impossible level missions have huge secrets and dangers. They might not necessarily be beasts. If it was some intelligent, undying guardian, when the time comes, I'd probably be killed. Luo Feng felt fear. The secrets of these missions were like drugs. After eating it once, one would be addicted to it. However, if one wasn't careful, one would die from it. I have the Masha clansman and the Golden Horn Beast. My survivability is indeed stronger than the other geniuses. The normal requirements of an impossible level mission, if I'm careful, I can complete it. However, if I'm too ambitious and blindly search for some huge secrets and opportunities, I might very well lose my life. Luo Feng thought. Right? According to what teacher said, that Kaluo Fu's strength suddenly exploded in the recent 100 to 200 years. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Don't tell me. This Kaluo Fu also discovered a secret in a training mission and obtained a huge opportunity? According to Luo Feng's guess, every mission had its own secrets. Luo Feng didn't think he was the only one who discovered these secrets. It's very likely that, because of that 100 or 200 years ago, he obtained a huge opportunity. Hence, after tasting it, this time's impossible level mission, he'll probably intentionally or unintentionally carefully observe and search for that huge secret. And because of that, he might end up in a series of terrifying dangers and finally lose his life. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. It was very likely that it was like that. He had deduced the secrets within every mission, hence his ambition grew. Others could be like that too. This kind of super opportunity, the risks that accompany it are also super. I was able to escape this time because of the Masha clansmen. What about next time? Luo Feng immediately became cautious. So, Luo Feng took a step and became a blur, landing on the 2,317th level of the inheritance stairs. Immediately, incomparably mysterious techniques began to flow into his memories. Luo Feng once again began to train this technique, causing his soul to undergo some changes during the training. This technique, in terms of training, was very similar to Luo Feng's teacher, Hu Yanbo's soul imprint. The soul imprint technique, too, caused the soul to change and evolve before finally being able to unleash the technique. This supreme demon note, inheritance, was also slowly changing the essence of the spirit energy. Luo Feng's soul was a domain lord level 9 soul. Its form was a condensed crystal ball. And at this time, this crystal ball was filled with gold markings. Countless of them covered the entire crystal ball. The markings were extremely mysterious. As Luo Feng continued to train, the number of gold markings in his soul gradually increased. The more gold markings there were, the stronger the spirit energy amplitude became. However, there was a limit to the demon note inheritance. 3,211th level of stairs. Who? Luo Feng knelt on the stone stairs. His entire body was covered in sweat. His face was pale. His eyes were bloodshot. He couldn't help but hold his head. The endless fatigue of his soul made it so that the moment he gave up resisting, he would instantly fall asleep. The intense, piercing pain in his soul made him feel like he was about to collapse. Persevere. Persevere to this level of inheritance. I'll accept all of it. Luo Feng roared within, almost like hypnosis, constantly chanting within, hypnotizing himself. His entire body knelt on the stairs, swaying. In theory, each level of inheritance time wasn't long. However, Luo Feng felt that every second was longer than a year. The endless fatigue of his soul. It had already caused him to sink into a muddle-headed state, to the point where he couldn't think at all. His thinking speed probably couldn't even compare to a normal child on Earth. His thinking speed was incredibly slow. It could stop at any time. The fatigue of his soul caused his control of his body to weaken to the extreme. He knelt on the ground, ready to fall at any time. Finally, the inheritance of the 3,211th level finally ended. I've finally succeeded. Luo Feng relaxed within, after which the endless fatigue buried his consciousness and he immediately fell unconscious. Rumble. Luo Feng laid on the stairs, not moving at all, already unconscious. After an unknown amount of time, Luo Feng finally opened his eyes. Luo Feng fiercely climbed up, looking around. He was actually in the plaza of the Inheritance Palace, and the doors were closed. Luo Feng, about 5 hours after you fell asleep, you were sent to the plaza by a formless energy, and the Inheritance Palace automatically closed, which means the inheritance has ended. Babata's voice resounded in his mind. Luo Feng regained his calm. As it ended, Luo Feng smiled and looked around. There was nothing in the plaza. The white light outside was still there. This white light stopped the beast from flying in. How long have I been asleep? Luo Feng asked. 31 days. Babata said. Long enough. Luo Feng exclaimed. It had been close to 12 years since he accepted the demon note inheritance. These 12 years, his soul had always been training in the inheritance, constantly changing it. He hadn't rested at all. That fatigue was constantly increasing. I was really lucky this time. Originally, I was already at my limit after reaching the 1200 level. Luo Feng smiled and exclaimed, I didn't expect the Masha clansman to get the gold soul fruit, changing a certain aspect of my soul, making it more suitable to accept the inheritance. That's why I was able to last until the 3211th level. The first part of the Demon Note inheritance had a total of 3,333 levels. Over 1,000,000,000,000 years, over 100,000 life forms had accepted the inheritance. Almost all of them were undyings. However, many undyings had reached their limits at the end of the first part. Luo Feng relied on the gold soul fruit to reach a result comparable to many undyings. The inheritance has ended. Luo Feng stood in the plaza. There was only him there. Within these 12 years, 5 years ago, I let the golden-horned beast absorb the 98th Blood River crystal successfully. Right now, I feel much stronger than 5 years ago. Maybe I can absorb the 99th crystal now. Luo Feng was elated. He did whatever he wanted to do, immediately letting the golden-horned beast within his internal world attempt to absorb the 99th crystal. P.S. First update. Chapter 611. Back then in Blood River World, the Masha clansmen relied on the automaton ship to sweep through Blood River World, wantonly collecting close to 10,000 Blood River crystals. Even though the golden-horned beast body and genes were much stronger than the wild beast Qin-Yo, after absorbing the 97th crystal, the killing aura from the absorption was simply too terrifying. Even Luo Feng's willpower couldn't handle it. Hence, he could only temporarily stop and wait for a breakthrough in the future. The Demon Note inheritance. During the training process, it constantly squeezes out my endurance. It's a huge training for my willpower, too. And this inheritance is used to change my soul, allowing my control over it to increase by 10 times. Luo Feng thought, plus these 12 years, I haven't stopped my mental state training at all. Mental state training was completely different from other trainings. For example, comprehending the origin laws, researching techniques, these all required a huge amount of mental energy, etc. However, mental state training didn't require much mental energy. It was actually just a state of mind. For example, during battle, one had to adjust their mental state, otherwise they might not be able to unleash their full potential, only able to unleash 70 to 80% of their strength. And for people like Thunder God and Hong, their mental states were extremely high. No matter how complicated things were, it wouldn't shake their mental states. They would instead unleash their full potential in battle. Others could unleash their full potential under special circumstances. But for example, Hong, he could always maintain 200% of his full potential. This was an extreme display of strength under an extremely high state of mind. Of course, Hong, in terms of mental state training, he was comparable to the saints in China's history. Even Thunder God's mental state was a whole level lower than Hong's. And Luo Feng was even weaker than Thunder God by a level. Luckily, Luo Feng had Hong and Thunder God, these two great masters guiding him. Hence his mental state training had been improving. Mental state training had nothing to do with the amount of time spent. And some fighters, to train to the undying level, would require at least tens of thousands of years, some even millions of years. However, in terms of mental state training, they could reach such a high level in a few decades. After all, the ancient people of China didn't even live past 100 years. 12 years. These 12 years, Luo Feng had improved quite a bit. It was a pity that in terms of mental state training, he was still only at the pinnacle of the first level. Of course, in terms of willpower alone, he was already extremely strong. Luo Feng stood in the Silent Plaza. Within the inner world, the golden-horned beast that was as huge as a mountain range, its dark golden pupils that were comparable to 2 large lakes stared at the Blood River crystal on its right claw. The 99th. The right claw clenched slightly. Simultaneously, the sharp claws pierced into the center of the palm, causing the scales to tear apart. That tiny Blood River crystal, under the control of the golden-horned beast's spirit energy, directly touched the wound. The moment it touched, The formless energy immediately entered the golden-horned beast's body. Roar! The golden-horned beast raised its head and let out a pained and angry roar. This was a clash of fiendish energy and willpower. The endless killing aura that covered the sky and land was like countless galloping chariots roaring as they rushed over. Luo Feng's willpower was condensed like a blade, constantly resisting every attack. No matter how powerful one's martial strength was, this kind of pure willpower attack would be of no help at all. I will definitely win. I'll definitely win. This killing aura can't break me. It can't break me. Luo Feng's willpower roared. He persevered again and again. Suddenly, the incomparably intense killing aura was like a receding tide, swiftly receding. At the same time, the blood river crystal on the right claw of the golden-horned beast began to transmit threads of blood river energy. The blood river energy continued to merge into the right claw of the golden-horned beast, once again transforming that terrifying right claw of the golden-horned beast. The pain came again. One could only imagine the pain of absorbing the 99th crystal. It caused the golden-horned beast to crazily smash into the ground again and again, tearing apart the mountains. However, no matter how painful it was, it had to endure it. Finally, the pain receded. The 99th crystal had completely merged into the right claw. Roar! The golden-horned beast excitedly roared, the roar reverberating within the endless internal world. It gently raised its right claw, activating the powerful blood river energy within. Immediately, the entire right claw began to transform. The bones, scales, muscles, etc. all began to transform from the smallest of cells, immediately becoming a pale gold claw. On the claw, there was even a dense and complicated blood red engravings. The engravings covered the entire right claw, forming a faint image. It was the image of a beast's head roaring. What a peculiar picture! Before, when he had absorbed the 98th crystal, the right claw had formed a blood-red engraving picture. Back then, Luo Feng didn't realize it was a beast head roaring picture. However, after absorbing the 99th crystal, there were hundreds more engravings, causing the originally messy engravings to become much more complete. The engravings formed the entire beast head, very similar to the beast god statue's head. The only difference was there wasn't the beast god statue's horn. It was because it was missing the horn. Hence, when he looked at the blood-red engravings, Luo Feng felt that it wasn't complete enough. I estimate that after absorbing the 100th crystal, it'll be complete. Let's try and see if I can absorb the 100th crystal. The golden-horned beast took out another crystal and tried again. Asterisk, 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 asterisk in the plaza. Luo Feng stood in the plaza. Beside him, the stone ground was filled with fresh blood. This was the result of absorbing the 99th crystal. His earth body was in pain from before. I failed to absorb the 100th crystal. Luo Feng wiped the sweat from his forehead. The absorption of the 100th crystal is indeed very difficult. I estimate that I'll need a few more years, and my willpower will rise a little before I can succeed. The 99th crystal was a success. The 100th failed. However, Luo Feng was still very excited, because according to the blood-red engravings on the right claw, it was actually a beast head roaring, and that beast head was almost exactly the same as the beast god statue's head, only lacking a single horn. The Blood River Crystal. It's indeed related to the beast god of Blood River World. Luo Feng thought. Whether it's the Blood Warrior, Black Warrior, or the Golden Horned Beast's Blood River energy, it's definitely related to the beast god. And I estimate that after absorbing the 100th crystal, the horn will form. After the entire engravings are complete, there's a huge surprise. Luo Feng was overjoyed. Looking around the plaza, there were no other life forms, and the abyss world below had trillions of beasts. Endless beasts. There were even quite a few undying level beasts. Time to return. Luo Feng's body transformed. So, changing to the Masha clansman, the Masha clansman too immediately became an ice bear. The simple and adorable ice bear looked around, after which it fiercely rushed forward. Who? The ice bear rushed through the white light. With a glance, he saw the countless beasts in the endless abyss world. With a splash, the ice bear fell onto the ice layer and stood up dumbly. The surrounding beasts were similarly dumbfounded. Not many of them even bothered with this ice bear. The ice bear looked up at the 32 floating palaces. Ah, all 32 palaces have white light. Following which, the white light surrounding the palace where Luo Feng received the inheritance began to dissipate. Looks like the other 31 palaces all have life forms receiving the inheritance. The ice bear looked. Anyway, I've already received the inheritance. I can't receive any more. Let's hurry and get out. The ice bear looked around. The vast and cold abyss world, no matter which direction he looked in, he couldn't see the end. It was filled with densely packed beasts. The amount was unbelievable. How do I get out? The ice bear Luo Feng was stunned. Do you leave the way you came? Back then he was kicked into the deep hole by Mo Luo and fell into this abyss world. However, to fly back through the hole? There are quite a few enormous immortal rank mirage beasts in that deep cave. Every undying level beast simultaneously controls many deep holes. Just the undying level beast's casual swallowing energy is already so terrifying. It's best if I don't provoke them. Luo Feng recalled. The abyss that was filled with large amounts of deep holes were filled with undying level beasts. And when Luo Feng became the ice bear, he didn't see any other beasts fly into the deep holes. The other beasts haven't even flown into the deep holes. What they can't do, I can't do either, Luo Feng thought. Immediately, the ice bear began to explore the vast abyss world. However, after 3 days, the ice bear still hadn't found a way to leave the abyss world. This made him anxious. I'll just keep walking in one direction. I don't believe I can't reach the end. The ice bear began to move forward in a single direction. Sometimes it would run for millions of kilometers, and sometimes it would leisurely walk for a while. Just like that, the ice bear moved further and further away. Gradually, the number of phantom beasts it could see became fewer and fewer. When will I be able to leave this damn place? The ice bear Luo Feng muttered, still maintaining a direction as he walked. Within his vision, he would only see one after a long time. A powerful demon note swept across. The ice bear Luo Feng trembled slightly. Even though it was a Masha clansman, within the ice bear's body was Luo Feng's core. Within the core was a soul. Naturally, it would be affected by the demon note. This demon note can probably affect a sector lord early stage warrior. Demon note. The ice bear suddenly stopped. Its eyes stared wide, filled with human emotions. There's actually a demon note. After walking such a long distance in the abyss world, he had never encountered a demon note before. Damn, I've finally encountered a demon note. The ice bear Luo Feng was extremely excited, so excited he wanted to cry. To be able to discover a demon note here, looks like it's about time to leave the abyss world. The ice bear immediately became a blur and sprinted. With one breath, he had traveled over 100,000 kilometers before finally seeing a vast ice mountain wall. On it were many caves. What a familiar deep cave. What a delightful deep cave. The ice bear waved its large claws excitedly, after which it flew into one of the caves. Chapter 6:12. The deep cave was ice cold. The ice bear walked alone in the cave. However, his mood was joyful. No matter, I've finally left the abyss world. To the ice bear Luo Feng, other than the abyss world, there was no other place in Demon Note Mountain that posed a threat to him. As he walked, maintaining his speed, after a while, he reached the end of the cave. At the end was the intersection of the caves. A total of 395 caves all intersected here. The ice bear looked around stupidly. Big trouble. This is really big trouble. Ice bear Luo Feng suddenly realized a problem. My mind only remembers the path I took to get here, and now I can't follow the path back. In Demon Note Mountain, One cave was connected to hundreds of caves, and any random cave was connected to many other caves. The path was incredibly complicated. It could be called a super maze. Even the warriors that entered Demon Note Mountain would usually follow the path back. If they didn't and ran randomly, who knew how many years it would take to walk out of the maze? What do I do? I've never been to this place before. Out of the other 394 caves in front of me, which one should I enter? The ice bear looked at the huge caves ahead, some winding upwards, some straight ahead, some twisting and turning, not knowing what to do. An unknown path. Returning wasn't an option. Luo Feng's mind swiftly pondered. There's no other way. There's only one way to find other humans. Other humans should know the way out. After all, under normal circumstances, being able to walk here meant being able to return. Encounters like Luo Feng's were extremely rare. Ice Bear Luo Feng randomly chose a cave and headed in. Half a day later. How unlucky! I actually met a beast blocking my way. Luckily, it's just a dumb universe-level beast. An incredibly skinny man dressed in a yellow robe, with 2 silver horns on his forehead, was examining the ice bear before him, after which he casually took out 2 huge hammers from behind. 2 scarlet red hammers. Stupid phantom beast, fall for this grandpa. The lean man instantly turned into a ghostly phantom and rushed towards the ice bear phantom beast. Who? The ice bear waved its huge ice paws, fast as lightning. How can this be? How can a universe-level beast be that fast? The lean man's eyes widened in horror. The giant bear's paw slammed into his body at a terrifying speed that he couldn't dodge at all. His whole body was smashed into meat paste, and he was thrown far away, smashing into the rock wall next to him. The tattered corpse fell to the ground. The ice bear glanced at the corpse and walked towards it. It started to collect the items on the corpse. There's actually no AI. How unlucky. The ice bear's body instantly turned illusory, and he transformed into his human form. Luo Feng looked at the corpse before him and frowned. I need to find a route to leave Demon Note Mountain, and the route is usually memorized by the strong warriors. At the same time, the AI optical computer would also automatically record the information. But this guy doesn't even have an AI. That's true. Although some of the higher-ups in the 9-star seas have optical computers, they're not as powerful as the 9-star seas. But that place is, after all, a primitive place, and there are very few people with AI optical computers. Luo Feng was troubled. The Aboriginals did have the route in their memories, but searching through their memories was a very troublesome thing. Normally, hypnosis was the easiest, followed by forcefully wiping out a portion of the memory, and the hardest was to analyze and search through the memories. Even a spirit master could easily wipe out a person's memory. However, it was extremely difficult to analyze and obtain all the mysteries in this person's memories. And the weakest of these aboriginals were universe level. A universe level warrior's soul strength was already very strong. Luo Feng could easily hypnotize them, but wiping out their memories wasn't very possible, and directly searching through their memories was even more impossible. Probably only an undying could directly search through a universe level's memories. Hypnotize them and make them recite the route? Luo Feng shook his head. This super labyrinth of Demon Note Mountain. The route is extremely complicated. It's impossible to explain it simply by talking. Grab a universe-level punk and make him lead the way? Luo Feng shook his head. That's still not enough. My speed is very fast. I don't have to worry about the demon notes. And those universe-level aboriginals have to be careful of the demon notes, because if they accidentally meet a stronger one, they'll become zombies. Thinking about it, Luo Feng felt that searching for an AI was still better. No matter, those that could come to Demon Note Mountain were all considered strong warriors of 9-star Ocean. A small half of them probably had AIs. Luo Feng disguised himself as an aborigine and proceeded forward. Demon Note Mountain was indeed very crazy. As long as one met Luo Feng in the caves, those that thought they were stronger than him would automatically attack and kill him. Luo Feng spent over 4 days of time killing 9 aboriginals. After killing the ninth, he finally acquired the AI on his arm. Babata, hack into this AI and search for the route. Luo Feng ordered. Understood. Babata swiftly hacked into this normal AI. I've already found the route. Babata said excitedly. We'll be able to leave soon. Luo Feng's face revealed a look of glee. Finally, he was finally able to leave Demon Note Mountain. It wasn't easy at all. Rumble, a strong formless energy swept through the region. Luo Feng himself didn't notice at all. However, Babata immediately screamed, Luo Feng, be careful. It's a world energy scan. There should be Sector Lord warriors around. Sector Lord? Luo Feng frowned. Against Sector Lord warriors, Luo Feng didn't have much fear. 19. 3 kilometers away. 10 kilometers away. He's here. Babata screamed. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows as he looked at the wide and deep ice cave. In the distance, a ghostly silhouette swiftly appeared. This person's skin was silver gray, without a single strand of hair. On his forehead were 2 malevolent black, curved horns. His eyes were currently examining Luo Feng, almost like a lion examining its prey. His entire being naturally emitted an evil aura. You, a Universe Level 9 punk, can actually kill a Domain Lord Level 3 fighter. The silver-skinned Sector Lord said coldly, Looks like you have treasures on you. Luo Feng looked coldly at him, suddenly fiercely turning and running. So, Luo Feng ran extremely quickly. Trying to escape? The silver-skinned Sector Lord swiftly chased. Babata, how strong is this punk? As Luo Feng ran, he swiftly switched to the Masha clansman. The Masha clansman's appearance was exactly the same as Luo Feng's aboriginal appearance. Sector Lord Level 5. Babata said, only Sector Lord Level 5? The Masha Luo Feng revealed a smile. Little punk, you won't be able to escape. That cold voice resounded within Luo Feng's ears. That silhouette almost instantly reached before Luo Feng. Masha Luo Feng's silhouette flickered strangely, and he actually turned back and continued running. Simultaneously, a seemingly simple laser gun appeared in his hands. E9 grade laser gun. This laser gun had the automaton race's unique style, simple. That's the weapon you use to kill a Domain Lord Level 3? Seems like it's a laser gun. Haha, this is a rare item. The silver-skinned Sector Lord's voice resounded. He pounced at Luo Feng with shocking speed. So, the Masha clansman fiercely twisted and flashed, easily dodging the attack. What? The silver-skinned Sector Lord's expression changed greatly. Masha Luo Feng's twist and flash earlier. The instantaneous speed he displayed was simply unbelievable fast. Even a Sector Lord Level 5 like him couldn't catch up. The E9 grade laser gun's warning light went from red to green. 1 seconds had passed. Charging complete. Chi. Luo Feng gently pressed the button, coldly looking at the raging Sector Lord. His lips gently moved, silently saying 3 words, Go and die. The extremely dazzling white pillar of light instantly penetrated through that world overlord. After that, it penetrated through the ice layer on the stone wall behind him. The ice layer instantly melted, turning into gas. The black stone wall directly cracked apart. At the same time, the temperature of the entire cave instantly rose from the extremely low temperature to an extremely high temperature. The huge change in temperature caused the cold energy from the other regions to permeate over. Very quickly, the surroundings completely cooled down. Kacha! Kacha! Luo Feng stepped on some broken ice and walked to the almost completely vaporized corpse. That corpse was only left with some armor and remains. There's no door to hell, yet you barged in, sending yourself to death. Who can you blame? Luo Feng squatted down and swiftly found the Sector Lord's storage ring, using his spirit energy to enter. With one look, he revealed a look of glee. Ha! Not only did you come to die, you even gave me treasures. A Sector Lord is indeed a Sector Lord. There are just so many black tags. Luo Feng was incomparably excited. He kept the pile of black tags in his storage ring. With this batch, I collected a total of over 9,800 black tags. Just a little more, and I'll reach 10,000. Before the Demon Note inheritance, Luo Feng had already collected a lot of black tags, close to 8,000. Adding the ones from before, he had close to 10,000. Just over 100 more. Over 100 black tags, collecting them is easy. Any random domain, Lord level 8 or 9, should be enough. Luo Feng was elated, following the route and leaving. Along the way, he met about 10 others. With Luo Feng's earth body revealing a universe level 9 power, it indeed attracted many domain lords and aboriginals to come and kill him. Naturally, they were all easily dealt with by Luo Feng. This also caused the total number of black tags he collected to naturally rise to 10,000. I'm finally out. I've left this super labyrinth of Demon Note Mountain. Luo Feng laughed loudly and flew out of the outer cave entrance. P.S. Chapter 3 has arrived. Tomato continues writing Chapter 4. Chapter 613. Demon Note Mountain had always been filled with ice and rock. When Luo Feng flew out of the outermost cave, he saw the endless space in the distance. He immediately felt comfortable and at ease. I'm out. This trip to Demon Note Mountain can be considered over. Luo Feng turned to look at the endless Demon Mountain, exclaiming within, his gains from this trip to Demon Note Mountain were indeed shocking. That Demon Note inheritance had allowed his spirit energy amplitude to reach over 3,200, and many spirit readers under normal circumstances could only reach 100. Even the completion of deities of the world only allowed one's strength to reach 27 times that. This inheritance is a priceless treasure. It's a pity my strength is too weak. My soul can withstand too little of the inheritance. If I had Sector Lord Pinnacle strength and ate the gold soul fruit, I'd probably be able to rush to the second part. The moment I step on the stairs to the second part, I'd probably be able to see the shrine at the end of the second part. Luo Feng was filled with anticipation within. Luo Feng had only stepped on 1/10 of the first part when a shrine appeared. According to Luo Feng's guess, he had to step on 1/10 of the second part before the shrine would appear. He had to make the shrine appear before he could acquire the treasures within. It's a pity I've only reached the end of the first part. If I could reach 1/10 of the second part, I'd be able to use the Masha clansman to acquire the treasures within the shrine. After consuming it, I'd be able to advance by a huge amount. As Luo Feng looked at Demon Note Mountain and exclaimed within, a small team of silver-clothed attendants swiftly flew over. Your Majesty, Luo Feng. When the group of silver-robed deacons flew over, they immediately bowed respectfully. Among them, there was a silver-robed deacon who immediately said, Congratulations on leaving the demonic Note Mountain, Your Highness. Luo Feng nodded. Your Highness, please follow us. This team of silver-clothed attendants didn't dare delay. Recently, there had been a total of 2 majesties in Demon Note Mountain. One was Luo Feng, and the other was a majesty from the last phase region. In terms of position, Luo Feng was naturally much higher. The attendants respectfully led Luo Feng towards the palace at the foot of Demon Mountain. Your Majesty, Luo Feng. A white-clothed silhouette swiftly flew over. Oh, it's you, Yichang? Luo Feng immediately recognized this white-robed youth. It was the one that welcomed him 12 years ago when he came to Demon Mountain. Your Highness still remembers Yichang's name. The white-robed youth seemed very excited as he said, Your Highness has been the demonic Note Mountain for a whole 12 years. You came out safely. It's really amazing. Even though he said that, the white-robed youth, Yichang, sighed within. If official Pu knew Luo Feng made it out alive, she would probably be very unhappy. In the cold and gloomy hall, Pu sat in her throne. Her undying energy silently swept past Luo Feng and the white-robed Yichang. With her abilities, even Babada's equipment couldn't detect her. After all, in terms of strength, Marquis Pu is slightly stronger than Hu Yinbo back in the day. Moreover, Marquis Pu mainly researched the soul. This Luo Feng is actually still alive, staying in Demon Note Mountain for 12 years. He has some ability. Marquis Piu said softly, her eyes cold. Katja, her right hand, which seemed to be carved from jade, actually crushed the armrest of the throne. However, there will be a day. Marquis Piu's voice was low. What? Marquis Piu's expression changed greatly. 10,000 black tags. That Luo Feng actually managed to collect 10,000 black tags? Marquis Piu was no longer as calm as before. There was only shock and rage. Luo Feng was chatting with the white-robed youth Yi Chong as they walked. 10,000 black tags? The white-robed Yi Chong looked with shock at Luo Feng. Your Majesty Luo Feng, collecting 10,000 black tags is much harder than the survival mission. After so many years, it's been a long time since someone managed to collect 10,000 black tags. Only Mo Luo from before did it. Mo Luo? Luo Feng frowned. He completed it too. To collect 10,000 black tags, the fastest way was to kill a Sector Lord. And a Universe Level 9 killing a Sector Lord. Just how unbelievable was that? Just relying on one's own strength wasn't possible. Normally, one had to rely on life support or technological weapons, etc. He himself relied on the Masha Clansman and the E9 grade laser gun to complete it. Then what did Mo Luo rely on? Right? The white-robed youth nodded. His Majesty Mo Luo indeed completed it. However, he only stayed in Demon Note Mountain for 3 years before coming out. His speed is indeed fast. Luo Feng smiled indifferently. To collect 10,000 black tags is extremely difficult. I spent 12 years before I succeeded. This Mo Luo is faster than me in collecting the tags. The white-robed youth said. For His Majesty Luo Feng to persevere for 12 years to collect the black tags. His perseverance is shocking. Even though he said that, he was filled with disdain within. This absolute genius Luo Feng didn't care about his life at all. To collect enough black tags, he actually stayed in Demon Note Mountain for 12 years. Demon Note Mountain was an impossible level mission location. Staying for 12 years, no matter how lucky he was, he would still meet Sector Lord Aboriginals and Sector Lord Beasts. I really don't know how he survived. The white-robed youth Yi Chong muttered within. After a while, Yi Chong brought Luo Feng to a palace. Your Majesty Luo Feng, as you've collected 10,000 black tags, naturally you'll receive a huge reward. This huge reward will be personally given to you by Sky Feather Emperor from the Virtual Universe Company station here. Yi Chong smiled. Please wait a moment. I'll go report. Please wait for Sky Feather Emperor to meet you. Understood. Luo Feng nodded. Watching Yi Chong leave, Luo Feng was shocked within Sky Feather Emperor. After following his teacher Tru Yin for so many years, Luo Feng had heard of a few absolute beings' names. There were strong and weak Emperor-level undyings too, and there were very few that were infinitely close to the Universe Country Leader level. Like his teacher Tru Yin Emperor and Sky Feather Emperor was a name his teacher had mentioned before and specially praised. Emperor-level undyings. Those that Tru Yin couldn't handle could be counted with one's fingers, and Sky Feather Emperor was one of them. According to what my teacher said, Sky Feather Emperor is proficient in space and time. He's an absolute being that trains the universe primal chaos tablet. Even my teacher can't handle him. His position in the Virtual Universe Company is extremely high. Luo Feng was filled with anticipation. He wanted to meet this legendary being. Compared to Tru Yin King, Heavenly Feather King, these legendary existences, Mist King was much worse. After a while, Your Majesty Luo Feng, Lord Sky Feather Emperor is waiting for you in his feather palace. The white-robed youth, Yi Chong, smiled. Please follow me. Luo Feng nodded, immediately following the white-robed youth, Yi Chong, and flying through the palaces at the foot of Demon Mountain. After flying for about 2 minutes, they arrived at a majestic palace that was at least 100,000 kilometers tall. The entire outer wall of the palace was made up of a strange-looking bird carving. This bird had 3 pairs of wings, 3 eyes. On its head there was a crown like feather. especially that vertical eye. Even though it was just a huge carving, this bird carving still had a shocking feeling of being able to see through space and time. Your Majesty, please enter. I can't accompany you inside. The white-robed youth Yi Chong stood outside the palace. The golden armored guards outside the palace all made way. There were over 1,000 of them, of which there were a total of 10 undyings. Undyings guarding outside the palace? Luo Feng felt incredulous. Even his teacher True Yin Emperor wasn't that powerful, and the undyings usually had their own pride. Even if they submitted to a powerful being ordered to guard the palace, they usually wouldn't agree, unless there was a special reason. Luo Feng immediately stepped into Feather Palace. Feather Palace's first-level main palace. It was incomparably majestic, gold and jade dazzling. The entire main palace was mainly gold and black, these two colors. So, Luo Feng became a beam of light and flew within the palace. After flying for a while, he saw the silhouette on the throne and the other silhouettes on the two sides of the palace. Greetings, Sky, Feather Emperor. Luo Feng bowed. True Yin has taken in a good disciple. The voice of the silhouette on the throne resounded throughout the entire palace. This palace was close to 100,000 kilometers in length and width. Theoretically speaking, it would take a long time to transmit. However, the moment the silhouette opened his mouth, it reverberated throughout the entire palace. Only then did Luo Feng look up at the silhouette on the throne. He had long golden hair and a pair of eyes that were dark blue. However, the vertical eye between his brows had a golden pupil. His nose was tall, his lips thin. However, when he looked down, it made Luo Feng feel like he was looking at the endless universe. That sort of natural nobility. Unknowingly, it made one want to submit. What a terrifying being. No wonder he's on par with my teacher. Luo Feng was shocked within. At the level of True Yin and Sky Feather Emperor, these beings that were infinitely close to the universe country leader level. Even in the virtual universe company, they wouldn't be under any country leader or knight. They no longer needed to rely on them. The ones beside, Luo Feng's gaze swept. On the two sides of the palace sat a total of 24 people. They all looked different, some tall and sturdy, some seductive, some cold. However, according to Luo Feng's long time spent with his seniors and juniors in Primal Chaos City, these 24 before him were probably all undyings. Take out your 10,000 black tags. The silhouette on the throne said. Yes. Luo Feng waved his hand, and immediately a pile of black tags appeared beside him. According to Demon Mountain's rules, if you can collect 10,000 black tags, you'll receive a reward. Sky Feather Emperor gazed at the tiny silhouette below, saying indifferently, I'll give you 3 rewards to choose from. You can only pick one. The moment those words were said, the expressions of the 24 undyings below all changed. However, they didn't dare make a sound. Amongst the 24 undyings, official Pu thought within, what's with Lord Sky Feather Emperor? Doesn't he usually just give out one reward? Why is he giving this punk a chance to choose? She was very unhappy within. However, she didn't dare to make sound. Sky Feather Emperor was tyrannical. The moment one went against him, the result would be death. P.S. I've reached the 4th chapter. I haven't fully recovered from my illness. I'm sweating profusely from writing. I can probably only update 5 more chapters. Today's 5. I still owe everyone one. I'll return it tomorrow. Chapter 614. Luo Feng himself didn't know that under normal circumstances, he would only be given 1 reward. He thought that choosing 1 out of the 3 was normal. 3 rewards. Luo Feng looked expectantly at the throne above, at Sky Feather Emperor. The first is the chrysalis armor. In the throne, Sky Feather Emperor said slowly, the chrysalis armor is an armor that undyings like. Its defense is not bad. If a Sector Lord level 1 or 2 uses it, it can defend against all non-soul attacks under the undying level. And Xiao Wushang, you're a spirit reader, hence you should pay more attention to your material defense. This armor suits you better. Luo Feng was shocked within as he heard. A Sector Lord level 1 wearing that armor. That was equivalent to being able to defend against all non-soul attacks under the undying level. It was indeed the armor that undyings loved. Babata shouted within Luo Feng's consciousness. Chrysalis armor, Luo Feng. Your teacher back then also used the cloud contact vine to become undying. You didn't need that armor at all. Otherwise, even to your teacher, the chrysalis armor is not bad. The auction price of the chrysalis armor usually reaches 800,000 to 1 million mixed elements. Luo Feng was shocked. 800,000 to 1 million mixed elements? The entire Black Dragon Mountain starfield's value was only about 300,000 to 1 million mixed elements. A piece of armor was more expensive than a vast starfield. The second one is a palm-sized piece of Jiuyan void gold. That weighs 3.1 tons. The Throne Sky Feather Emperor continued. Flame void gold. It's a very valuable material for creating weapons. Before you reach undying, you can buy a few spirit weapons, etc. However, once you become undying, you'll need to use your own techniques to create the most suitable weapon for yourself. Flame void gold. It's considered an extremely rare material for creating weapons. Luo Feng blinked. A palm-sized piece of material? The third is cash. Sky Feather Emperor said from the throne. That chrysalis armor and flame void gold are both worth about 500,000 mixed elements. Hence, the third reward is 500,000 mixed elements in cash. If you're not satisfied with the first two, you can choose money, after which you can buy what you need. You can only choose one out of the three. Sky Feather Emperor gazed at Luo Feng. Choose. The other 24 official level Undying's expressions all changed. They were all shocked. They had been stationed here with King Skyfeather for too long, and it had been a long time since they had seen King Skyfeather being so easy to talk to. The so-called huge rewards. Actually, the Virtual Universe Company had a fixed range. Normally, they would just casually take out a similar reward and send away those who managed to collect 10,000 black tags. But this time, first of all, the 3 rewards that Skyfeather Monarch took out were all astonishing. The chrysalis armor, even Undyings would fight over it. If Luo Feng used it, he could use it all the way to the Undying level. The flame void gold was even more precious and rare. Even the Sky Feather Monarch himself said that it was very precious and extremely rare. A palm-sized piece of raw material was already so precious. Finally, cash. Actually, cash was the weakest of the 3, but didn't you hear King Skyfeather say, if you're not satisfied with the first 2, you can use cash to buy what you need? This was completely for Luo Feng. It was rare for them to see Skyfeather Monarch treat someone so politely. Babata, which one should I choose? Luo Feng asked within. Even though he had his own judgment, he was after all less knowledgeable. Babata was much more knowledgeable. There's no need for the chrysalis armor for now, because we can nurture the cloud contact vine to reach sector Lord level very quickly. Nurturing it to sector Lord level 9 isn't hard. As for becoming an Undying, once you become an Undying, with your background and how much the Virtual Universe Company values you, the armor you use will probably be even better than the chrysalis armor. And the moment you find a way to make the cloud contact vine Undying, then there's even less of a need for the chrysalis armor. As for cash, there's no need for that, because your teacher's entire fortune is in the bank account. As long as you use your domain lord status to go to any universe galaxy bank in any starfield, you'll be able to get the fortune your teacher left for you. Hence, you don't lack money. To you, the most important thing is the flame void gold. Even though Sky Feather Monarch said the chrysalis armor and the flame void gold are both worth 500,000 mixed elements. However, I have to say, Sky Feather Monarch's position is extremely respected. Hence, he was able to use 500,000 mixed elements to buy the chrysalis armor and the flame void gold. And in truth, the chrysalis armor I said before, its auction price is 800,000 to 1 million mixed elements. And the flame void gold will be auctioned for 1.5 to 2 million mixed elements. Babata said, why is the flame void gold so much more expensive than the chrysalis armor? And Sky Feather Monarch, he can buy it for 500,000 mixed elements? Luo Feng was curious, because the flame void gold is simply too rare. Almost all of it has been monopolized by absolute beings. Babata said, The rarer something is, the more valuable it is. Maybe to Sky Feather Monarch, he can buy it, but to other Undyings, even if they're willing to pay double the price, they still won't be able to buy it. In comparison, the chrysalis armor is much more expensive than the flame void gold. Also, Luo Feng, you'll definitely have to create a technique that suits you the best. This is a path that any warrior has to walk, and normally during the Sector Lord Pinnacle, they'll start creating their own techniques. During that time, they'll already be able to gather the materials to create their own weapons. Babata said, Sky Feather Emperor's 3 sets of rewards indeed made the 24 official level Undyings extremely curious. Just what background did this Luo Feng have to make Sky Feather Emperor act like this? True Yin Emperor's disciple? It couldn't be. After all, in terms of position, Sky Feather Emperor was on par with True Yin Emperor. There is no need to use this to get on True Yin Emperor's good side. And Sky Feather Emperor's personality was incomparably arrogant. Even some Universe Country leaders, he didn't really care. Maybe Universe Country leaders were stronger than him, but once Sky Feather Emperor's strongest technique was unleashed, if he wanted to flee, even Universe Country leaders would find it hard to kill him. Actually, in the vast universe, the group of Emperor-level Undyings that were considered to be infinitely close to the Universe Country leaders may not be a match for a Universe Country leader in a head-on battle. However, all of them had great abilities that allowed them to dominate the universe. They at least had the ability to protect themselves. This was also why they didn't need to rely on the Universe Country leaders. Lord Sky Feather Emperor, I'm willing to choose the second set of rewards, the Flame Void Gold. Luo Feng said respectfully. Oomph. Below the throne, official Pu creased her eyebrows, snorting coldly within. This punk is only a universe level 9, and he actually knows the Flame Void Gold is the best. Humph. He probably got lucky. Official Pu didn't like Luo Feng at all. Haha. In the throne, Sky Feather Emperor let out a rare laugh. All right, this piece of Flame Void Gold is for you. With a casual toss, immediately an almost completely transparent crystal with golden threads within instantly passed through space and appeared before Luo Feng. My God, teleportation? Luo Feng was shocked. He had clearly seen that the crystal had disappeared into thin air after Sky Feather King had thrown it, then reappeared in front of him out of thin air. Even with his universe space senses, he could only feel a very weak ripple in space. After completing the Demon Mountain mission, you should be returning to the Primal Region, right? Sky Feather Emperor said. Luo Feng couldn't care less about observing the precious Flame Void Gold, immediately keeping it in his space ring and saying respectfully, Yes, even though I've been in the Primal Region for a few years, I've always been in Demon Mountain. Hence I haven't been to the Primal Region. The universe ship arranged for you to return will send you directly to the Primal Region. After Sky Feather Emperor finished, he vanished from his throne. After a while, Luo Feng sat in a universe ship specially arranged by Sky Feather Emperor and left Demon Mountain. Not too far away from Demon Mountain was a cleared-out region, and it accelerated through universe travel. Sky Feather Emperor sure is courteous. Luo Feng was in his resting cabin, looking at the 1-ton palm-sized transparent metal in his hands. The entire metal was almost like a transparent crystal, even more transparent than a crystal. If one didn't pay attention, one would think it was air, just that there were a few thin golden threads within. Touching this piece of Flame Void Gold, Luo Feng could feel the surrounding space ripple. What a peculiar metal. Luo Feng was shocked within. Immediately his consciousness connected to the virtual universe network and sent a mail to his teacher True Yin, explaining about the reward of the Flame Void Gold in Demon Mountain. Of course, he also explained the details of the process, because Luo Feng himself felt that Sky Feather Emperor was indeed very friendly. After a while, Luo Feng received the mail. It was his teacher's reply. Luo Feng opened it. I've saved Sky Feather Emperor's life before. However, very few people in the universe know of this. Don't spread it. Sky Feather Emperor is someone who cares about his reputation. If you give him face, he'll return it 10 times over. Teacher, you're vicious. Luo Feng stared. So it was like that. Normally, the more prideful a person was, the more they couldn't afford to owe others favors, much less a life-saving favor. This teacher of mine is direct and explosive. I've heard he's offended many people. Before, he even told me to be careful when I became a domain lord or a governor. However, from the looks of it, even though he has some hidden enemies, he has some friends too, and such powerful friends. Luo Feng smiled and exclaimed. Time passed. After 3 months, the universe ship finally entered the primal region. After universe travel back to the actual universe, after flying for half a day, they finally arrived at the place where the core geniuses were staying. Your Majesty Luo Feng. Ahead is where the 113 geniuses are staying. A tall man with 3 pairs of silver wings pointed to the front. Under the external simulation, Luo Feng could see the 136 stars in the distant void. The 136 huge stars revolved around each other in the void, their trajectories extremely mysterious. As Luo Feng watched, he suddenly recalled the scene of the Tianshi Palace leader using the 9 black flame planets to practice the space laws. It's a little similar. Luo Feng could vaguely feel the mysteries of the movement of the 136 planets. These 136 stars form their own space-time, and the princes who live within them are incomparably safe. Even universe country leaders and other powerful beings can't enter that space. The silver-winged man smiled and explained, this was also built by the Virtual Universe Company for the generations of their majesties. Luo Feng was shocked within. 136 planets forming their own space-time? After finishing 5 chapters, I really couldn't write anymore. I just slumped on the sofa and started typing. I still owe everyone one last chapter. I'll write it tomorrow. Finally, I shouted for monthly votes. Brothers with monthly votes, please support me. Monthly votes are lagging behind. Chapter 615. The 136 celestial bodies in the void constantly revolved in an extremely mysterious trajectory, drawing upon the 2 most fundamental laws of the universe, the law of time and the law of space, causing the void where the 136 celestial bodies existed to form its own space-time. Although they could still be seen with the naked eye, what the naked eye saw was actually an illusion. Rumble, space rippled, and a beautiful, completely golden 1,000 long universe ship appeared. Thank you, everyone. And thank Lord Sky, Feather Emperor, for me too. At the entrance of the other ship, Luo Feng bid farewell to the silver-winged man and the others, after which he became a beam of light and flew towards the completely golden universe ship. The distance between the 2 ships was only 10,000 kilometers. Luo Feng whistled past and arrived at the entrance of the beautiful golden ship. There stood 3 warriors with surging origin law energies. Luo Feng only recognized one of them. The bald man, Dylan. Your Majesty, Dylan shouted. Dylan. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. Your Majesty Luo Feng. Welcome to the Primal Region's 9th space. The other 2 undying warriors. One of them had long silver hair, silver pupils, and bare feet. A beautiful lady smiled and said, the 9th space, also known as Black Period Space, is where all the previous majesties live. Please enter the ship. I'll send you to your residence. Luo Feng smiled and nodded, entering the ship. This ship was purely used to receive guests, hence the decorations were extremely luxurious. The so-called luxurious was naturally something normal rich people in the universe couldn't even see. Only people like Luo Feng, who had inherited his memories and watched the treasure trove, could understand how luxurious this ship's decorations were. Within the ship's guest hall, Luo Feng and the others stood there, looking at the scenery of the space outside. Rumble. The ship activated and quickly returned to the 9th space. Luo Feng was shocked to discover that he could only see the constantly moving 136 planets. However, when the ship entered this space, Luo Feng could clearly see the 136 planets were revolving at the edge of this space, and at the center of this space was an incredibly glaring continent. On this floating continent, there were many exquisite palaces. How mysterious! Luo Feng exclaimed. This spacetime is called the Black Period spacetime. The void continent ahead is also called the Black Period continent. The silver-haired, silver-eyed woman smiled as she explained, from the outside, one can only see 136 black aeroplanets. However, they're unable to see the most important Black Period continent. All of the princes live on the Black Period continent. Of course, in this space-time, the most expensive thing to construct is the 136 Black Period planets. The silver-haired, silver-eyed lady smiled and explained, these 136 Black Period planets are all man-made planets. Every single one of them was created by our virtual universe company at huge cost. After all, these are the residences of the many generations of your majesties. Safety is extremely important. We need to prevent the other races from ambushing you all. Luo Feng held his breath. A man-made planet? This was not difficult at all. However, for the virtual universe company to think that it was a huge price, that was an exaggeration. These 136 Black Period planets automatically revolve, forming this part of space-time. There was a hint of pride on the silver-haired, silver-eyed woman's face. Anyone who wants to attack and trespass will be resisted by the space-time here. All attacks will be diverted to the 136 Black Period planets and neutralized. Undying's attacks have no effect on this space. Even a group of universe country leaders can forget about barging in. Luo Feng was shocked as he heard. The strength of the virtual universe company, as his position grew higher and higher, the more he interacted with them, the clearer he understood. Like the powerful beast gods of Blood River continent, didn't they still fall in the end? Was it the entire Blood River continent under surveillance? Like Demon Mountain, the Demon Note inheritance was indeed powerful. However, the great being that left behind the inheritance back then, didn't he still retreat against the virtual universe company? Many secret regions were immediately occupied. The human race was one of the pinnacle races of the countless races in the universe. As one of the 5 great leviathans of humanity, the virtual universe company indeed had unbelievable power. Within the primal secret realm, the 9th spacetime, Black Period spacetime's Black Period continent was extremely vast. Every royal highness was given a territory of close to 1,000,000 kilometers. Dylan's guards naturally stayed within Luo Feng's territory. After Luo Feng entered, his consciousness quickly connected to the virtual universe. Virtual universe, Yuxiang Mountain Primal Region, Luo Feng's villa training grounds. Rise! Luo Feng stood in the vast training grounds. The dark golden long rod behind him shot out tens of thousands of golden lights, simultaneously being controlled by Luo Feng's unbelievable level of spirit energy control, as a spirit reader controller with a spirit energy amplitude of over 3,200. Using the Nanshan armament was much easier. Rumble. The surrounding land and skies changed color, becoming a boundless blade energy world. Condense, Luo Feng said softly. Immediately, a golden blade swiftly condensed in front of Luo Feng, after which it immediately dissipated. At the same time, another golden blade swiftly condensed 500 meters away from Luo Feng. After successfully condensing, it once again dissipated. And 1 kilometer away, another thread of golden blade energy condensed. Within the blade energy world, blade energy condensed and dissipated everywhere. Blade energy everywhere. Blade world's 2nd level. Everywhere. Luo Feng smiled. Immediately, the entire blade world dissipated and countless gold lights swiftly returned to the dark golden long rod on his back. During the 12 years in Demon Note Mountain, even though my origin law comprehension has improved quite a bit, it's still not enough for me to reach the point where the blade world is everywhere. Luo Feng was delighted within. My spirit energy amplitudes are over 3,200, 32 times the normal limit of 100. This 32 times spirit energy control is what allows me to easily make the blade energy everywhere. If I were to attempt the 8th level now, I'd probably succeed, Luo Feng thought. Currently, amongst the universe-level geniuses, only Fei Tuo alone had passed the 8th level of the Heavenly Bridge, and he had just left Demon Note Mountain, and the inheritance slot was taken by a stranger. There was no need to attempt the Heavenly Bridge now. If the entire world knew about it, it wouldn't do him any good. Also, having the ability to pass the 8th level didn't mean he had to do it immediately. Even when his strength was high enough in the future, passing the 8th and 9th levels in one go, it wasn't impossible. Like the Wolfman Kaluo Fu, who had the ability to pass the 8th level, he wasn't in a rush to do it. To the study, Luo Feng swiftly left the training grounds, becoming a beam of light and entering the study through the balcony window. Sitting at his desk, Luo Feng looked at his laptop screen, flipping through the information on the dangerous level and impossible level missions. As a Primal Region member, Luo Feng's search authority was much higher now. Much of the secret information he couldn't see in the past was now accessible to him. Every 100 years, I can at most accept 10 missions. The 100 years here refers to the 100 years between the qualification battles. Luo Feng thought, after the qualification battles in the next 100 years, I can at most accept 10 missions. After these 10 missions, I reckon my core will break through to Sector Lord level. When that time comes, my Earth body will break through to Domain Lord level. To Luo Feng, his Earth body could break through to Domain Lord level at any time. However, the moment he did, he would be sent out by the Virtual Universe Company, usually to his home universe country, to become a governor. Even though there were many benefits to having authority, the privilege of universe-level geniuses, the training missions, he would no longer have the chance to do so. Stay in the universe level? Luo Feng had never thought of being like the others, staying in the universe level for so long. With the Golden Horn Beast's evolution speed, I have no need to delay at all, Luo Feng thought. And comprehending the origin laws is the easiest at the Sector Lord level. The moment the Golden Horned Beast reaches the Sector Lord level, my universe origin law comprehension speed will increase by leaps and bounds. The Sector Lord level was the easiest level to comprehend the origin laws. In a vast universe, normal domain lords that could comprehend the origin laws were already considered not bad geniuses. However, Sector Lords being able to comprehend the origin laws was a matter of course. Even in the Black Dragon Mountain starfield, within that small starfield, there were many Sector Lords with extremely high comprehension and recognition of the origin laws. One could see the Sector Lord's comprehension speed was indeed extremely fast. Sector Lords comprehending the origin laws had many advantages. This was also the reason why the Time Sector Lord was willing to stay at the Sector Lord level for so long, not rushing to break through to Undying. Hence, the moment Luo Feng stepped into the Sector Lord level, that would be his true explosive period. Obviously, with his internal world constantly swallowing metal and evolving, he only had 60 to 70 years left to reach the Sector Lord level. There are a total of 6 dangerous level mission worlds in the Primal region. I'll finish them all in one go. Luo Feng was extremely confident. With the E9 grade laser gun, Masha Clansman, Golden Horn Beast, completing the dangerous level missions, as long as he didn't actively seek death, there would definitely be no problem. After I finish the dangerous level missions, I'll go do the impossible level missions. However, maybe these missions have some huge opportunities and secrets. However, every one of them is probably very dangerous. The last time I succeeded in Demon Note Mountain, however, the next time might not be the same. Luo Feng reminded himself. He had to act within his abilities. He couldn't let his greed cloud his eyes. Luo Feng had accepted the impossible level missions before. He was very clear. There were a total of 18 of them. The Virtual Universe Company had 4 of them in their secret regions, of which the Primal region had 2 mission worlds. One was the first Purgatory Abyss. The reward was 1 million points. It was the highest, and also the most dangerous and difficult one. The other was the 6th, Confusion Galaxy. The reward was 500,000 points. It was slightly more dangerous than Demon Mountain. I'll first complete the next 10 years. I'll first complete the 6 dangerous level missions, after which I'll go take the impossible level mission Confusion Galaxy. Confusion Galaxy is only slightly more dangerous than Demon Mountain. Luo Feng sat in front of his desk, with a clear plan in mind. After this series of missions, my strength will probably rise by quite a bit. The best would be after the Golden Horned Beast and Masha Clansman break through to Sector Lord level. I'll go to the hardest Purgatory Abyss. Luo Feng nodded. After all this was completed, he would be sent out by the Virtual Universe Company to become a governor. Chapter 616. Luo Feng was very direct and efficient in his work. Since he had decided to do this, naturally he wouldn't waste time. That day, he began to apply for the dangerous level missions. The dangerous level missions, Luo Feng continued. The 6 dangerous level missions were all within the primal region, hence the time spent on the universe ship was shorter. The completion speed of the 6 missions were all different. Of these 6 dangerous level missions, Luo Feng discovered 2 of them had a huge secret hidden within. However, it was extremely dangerous. These 2 dangerous level mission worlds, one was Weiska Planet, the other was the ancient shrine ruins. Luo Feng had discovered some clues to a huge secret and was carefully investigating them. Weiska Planet's most mysterious and important ancestral god tomb was guarded by a large group of undyings. This scared Luo Feng so much that he didn't dare venture too deep, because the moment he was discovered by an undying. Even if Luo Feng risked his life with a Domain Lord level 9 Golden Horn Beast, the undying would probably be able to kill him in one move. The outer perimeter of the ancient shrine was very low, allowing Luo Feng to easily complete the mission requirements. However, the deeper within, as Luo Feng explored, he discovered that it was extremely dangerous. Luo Feng had to rely on the Masha Clansman to carefully enter. One had to say, the Masha Clansman's natural ability clone was indeed heaven-defying. Relying on this move, Luo Feng's main body hid at the outermost area, allowing the Masha Clansman to sneak in and enter the dangerous area, snatching food from the tiger's mouth, and finding a unique vein leaf that was no less valuable than the flame void gold. This leaf was called the Purple 100-net leaf. It had many special uses. It was best to give it to an undying level plant life to use. Its normal auction price was around 2 million mixed elements. Of course, after working so hard to get the Purple 100-net leaf, Luo Feng was afraid of causing trouble and immediately left the ancient shrine. He spent a total of 3 years and 6 months, completing 6 dangerous level missions, discovering 2 of the mission's hidden secrets, earning a total of 95,000 points and 1 Purple 100-net leaf. The more benefits one got from the missions, the more greed and ambition grew within one's heart. Because the 6 dangerous level missions that he worked so hard for only earned 95,000 points. Even at the highest exchange rate, 1 mixed element for 1 point, that was only 95,000 mixed elements. However, with just 1 huge secret and chance encounter, he got 1 Purple 100-net leaf that was worth about 2 million mixed elements. It was enough to buy a few Black Dragon Mountain starfields. Luo Feng, you've earned big. Purple 100-net leaf. Your teacher back then couldn't even find a place to buy it. Once the cloud contact vine breaks through to undying level, you can feed it the leaf and its strength will definitely soar. If the cloud contact vine was at Sector Lord Pinnacle and you feed it the leaf, it would have a 10% chance of breaking through to undying level. Babata was extremely excited. The reason why the chance isn't high is because the leaf's main effect is to change the body structure. After completing the 6 dangerous level missions, Luo Feng rested for 3 months before beginning the impossible level mission. Confusion Galaxy. Any Primal Region member could at most take 3 impossible level missions. Luo Feng had already taken Demon Mountain, hence he could still take 2 more. According to Luo Feng's plan, he would first take the lower difficulty Confusion Galaxy. The difficulty was naturally compared to the mission Luo Feng mission, Hell level mission, the number the Hell Abyss the mission. The Hell Abyss was simply too dangerous. The The difficulty level mission had an average death rate of 90%. However, the number 1 Purgatory Abyss had a shocking death rate of 99%. Hence, generations of geniuses, very few dared to attempt it. Even someone as confident as Luo Feng. He also decided to wait for the Masha Clansman and Golden Horn Beast to reach Sector Lord level before attempting it. Confusion Galaxy was a small region within the vast primal region. It was about the size of the Milky Way. Confusion Galaxy's mission was very simple. It was a search mission. 1. Find 39 crystals. Detailed information on the crystals. Receive 500,000 points. A simple search mission. Actually, the requirements of the impossible level missions were all very simple. Some were simple survival missions, others were search missions. But for the dangerous level and hard level missions, one could often see the requirements to kill and obtain items they encouraged killing. If I still dare to kill in the impossible level mission, I'd be courting death. Luo Feng carefully began the impossible level mission. Confusion Galaxy. Confusion Galaxy, just like its name, was a super labyrinth-like place. As it was the size of the Milky Way, hence it was much bigger than Demon Mountain. Even an undying who spent tens of thousands of years would probably only walk through a part of the labyrinth galaxy. It was a very mysterious place. The secrets within, according to Luo Feng's discoveries, shouldn't just be one. After spending a total of 5 years and 7 months, Luo Feng had finally gathered all 39 crystals in the Confusion Galaxy, completing the mission. However, Luo Feng wasn't in a rush to leave. He let his body hide in a relatively safe place and let the Masha Clansman explore the dangerous areas. The Masha Clansman's ability to transform was indeed very suitable for exploration. It had been close to 11 years since Luo Feng completed Demon Note Mountain and acquired Demon Note's inheritance. Virtual Universe, Black Dragon Mountain Island 9-star Bay Little District. I don't believe that I won't be able to find the huge secrets and opportunities within Confusion Galaxy. My body is currently in the automaton ship, staying in a safe area outside Confusion Galaxy. The Masha Clansman has entered the secret areas within Confusion Galaxy. If I can't find it in a year, I'll spend 10 years. If that doesn't work, I'll spend 50 years. Luo Feng walked in the quiet walkway, pondering about Confusion Galaxy. Confusion Galaxy was indeed worthy of being called Confusion Galaxy. At the same time, it was filled with danger. The Masha Clansman had died 6 times because of this. However, every time, Luo Feng would spend some energy to form another Masha Clansman within his internal world. As long as the core wasn't destroyed, Luo Feng's 3 bodies wouldn't die. 30. Thunder God's anxious voice resounded. You've finally arrived. Second brother, why the rush? Luo Feng smiled as he looked in the distance. The white-robed, bald Thunder God was rushing towards him. Just what urgent matter? The mail you sent me actually said it was extremely urgent. It scared me so much that I immediately rushed over. Luo Feng smiled as he walked beside Thunder God. Thunder God and Luo Feng walked in a walkway and very quickly entered the courtyard beside. It's really urgent. Thunder God's face revealed an anxious expression too. Speak. Luo Feng sat on a chair in the courtyard. It has to do with Big Brother. Thunder God said. Big Brother? Luo Feng was shocked. In terms of handling matters and character, Luo Feng really respected his big brother Hong. From Luo Feng's point of view, even if he and Thunder God got into trouble, his big brother Hong wasn't someone who would do so. Speak, what's the situation? Luo Feng's expression became serious. For a person like his big brother, nothing would happen to him for a very long time. The moment something did happen, it would be a huge problem. This matter is laughable. Thunder God shook his head and sighed. Right, you should know that Big Brother has been in the Ganwu Universe country for the past 10 years. I know. Luo Feng nodded. During the qualification battles, his big brother had already returned to the Ganwu Universe country with his teacher time, Sector Lord Luo. The place he stayed these past 10 years was one of the 9 great administrative planets of the Ganwu Universe country, Jade Dome Planet. Thunder God said, however, who would have thought that just because he was on Jade Dome Planet, he actually developed feelings for a girl. What kind of joke is this? Luo Feng stared. Big brother Hong developed feelings for a girl? During the Grand Nirvana, Hong's wife had already died. She died early. Hong had always brought up his 2 children. With Hong's position and power on Earth, who knew how many girls wanted to marry him? What kind of girls hadn't he seen before? What's more, with his mental state training, that level of power to truly make Hong fall in love with someone, that was simply an unbelievable thing. This was even rarer than an iron tree blooming. I'm not too sure either, but this is the truth. Thunder God exclaimed. You should know Big Brother's personality. The moment he decides on something, even if everyone in the world objects, it won't affect him at all. Luo Feng nodded. Many illusions couldn't even shake his faith, much less Hong. Hong and that girl did develop feelings for each other. However, Jade Dome Planet, as one of the 9 great administrative planets of the Ganhui Universe country, is a place where the rich and powerful gather. Just the undying families alone have branches there. There are already a few hundred families. Thunder God frowned. And this girl's background is extremely huge. Her family forcefully stopped Hong from being with her. What kind of joke is this? Luo Feng stared. Cowherd and Weaver Girl? In the universe, even those high and mighty super families usually wouldn't stop people from having relationships. On the contrary, if they met an absolute warrior, they would rather send their own women to sleep with him. Because the bloodlines of the strong were usually very strong. This resulted in the universe. Strong men could marry many women, and strong women could marry many men. Unless there was a special reason, for example, if an undying suddenly fell in love with a girl, saying I've fallen in love with this girl, then due to fear of this undying, naturally the family wouldn't allow the girl to be with other men. However, such situations were extremely rare. Why would they stop? Luo Feng asked curiously. Don't tell me some powerful person has fallen in love with her. Nope. Thunder God shook his head. I haven't found any such relationship. Big Brother himself said no. It's purely that family stopping them. Luo Feng frowned. I understand what you mean. You're saying there's no other power stopping them. Just this family stopping them. Right? Thunder God nodded. And the reason? Luo Feng asked. I don't know. Thunder God shook his head. That girl's family probably doesn't want to explain the reason to us. What family? Who's the undying behind the family? Tell me. Luo Feng frowned and prepared to investigate. Since this matter involved his big brother Hong, no matter what, he had to help. P.S. Second chapter here. As there was a chapter missing yesterday, there's still the 3rd chapter today. Chapter 617. I really don't know. Thunder God shook his head. I want to help Big Brother, but he's only told me a little when he's frustrated while drinking with me. After all, we've been together for so long. Even though we're not blood brothers, we're closer than that. And when I asked for more details, he refused to tell me. Luo Feng frowned. I'm looking for Big Brother. Luo Feng gently tapped in mid-air and a screen appeared. He gently tapped it and sent a mail to his big brother. After a while, dressed in simple black casual clothes, Hong walked in, smiling. You're all here, 3rd brother. Why are you so anxious to find me? Big brother, sit. Luo Feng said. Thunder God stared at Hong too. Hong looked at their expressions and frowned, sitting down and saying, 3rd brother, you know? HM. Luo Feng nodded, looking seriously at Hong. Big brother, you're serious? HM. Hong nodded, not feeling awkward at all. At Hong's level, he had already seen through everything. Haha, I didn't expect there to be a woman in the universe that could attract Big Brother. I too want to see just what magic she has. Luo Feng smiled as he said. Actually, when Hong nodded, everything was clear. Hong seemed to have truly fallen for her. As for why she attracted Hong, and why the two had feelings for each other, Luo Feng naturally couldn't ask. Is it big trouble? Luo Feng looked at his big brother. A little. Hong too frowned with a sense of worry. Big brother, tell me what family it is, and who is the undying behind it. Luo Feng looked at Hong. Tell me the situation. I'll help you. Hong looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, too, looked at Hong. This time I can only trouble you, 3rd brother. Hong didn't reject either. The 3 of them were absolute geniuses. Even Luo Feng, who had the weakest mental state, had long reached the point where his heart was like a mirror, able to see through all illusions and illusions. Hence, when they did many things, they didn't bother with formalities, they were extremely direct. And they all understood each other's thoughts. This family is the Ji-Shur family, one of the 300 emperor official families in the Ganwu universe country. That girl is called Ji-Qing, Hong said directly. Luo Feng nodded. He gently tapped in mid-air and a screen appeared. Beside him, Hong and Thunder God couldn't help but look at it. Search. Luo Feng searched for information on the Ji-Shur family, Undying and Ji-Qing, one of the 300 emperor noble families in the Ganwu universe country. With Luo Feng's authority as a primal region member, he was indeed able to read very secret information. Hua! Lines of information instantly appeared on the screen, covering the entire screen. Huh? Why can't we see it? Thunder God was puzzled. Within this search information, a portion of it is classified, hence you won't be able to see the information on the screen. Luo Feng smiled. This is also one of the restrictions of the virtual universe network. As he spoke, Luo Feng gently tapped on the top of the list. Open a little. Immediately an article appeared. It was formed according to Luo Feng's search for the Ji-Shur family, Undying and Ji-Qing. Oh! Luo Feng couldn't help but to reveal a look of shock. What's wrong? Thunder God asked. Hong's eyes were filled with anticipation. The authority of this information isn't high. I can tell you all in the virtual universe. Luo Feng smiled and said, You all should know, the Ganwu universe country has a total of 13,000 star fields. Just the Undyings under the country leader alone definitely number over 10,000. Amongst them, many of the Undyings with great contributions and strength naturally became officials and emperors. A country's emperor and official had nothing to do with the official level or emperor level Undyings. Like some low-level civilizations in the universe, the strongest might be at the universe level, but they still had emperors, princes, and kings. Hence, like some of the smaller universe countries' officials were very worthless, while the universe countries' officials were very powerful. Like the virtual universe company, Battle Axe Dojo's emperor and officials were the true noblest. Like True Yin Emperor, he was emperor level. However, compared to the Ganwu universe country's emperors, he was much, much higher. Official level and emperor level. Only the virtual universe company, Battle Axe Dojo, these kinds of superpowers had the right to confer them. What's more, in the various universe countries, there were almost no emperor level Undyings. The Ganwu universe country has a total of 32 emperors and 268 officials. Together, they are called the 300 emperor officials. Luo Feng said the 300 emperor officials have huge authority. They're the top of the 10,000 Undyings. Almost all of them are official level Undyings. Hong and Thunder God listened carefully. The Ji-Shur family, their territory is the Snow Border Starfield. The family's ancestor, also the first leader of the ancient family, is called Ji Tian Song. His official title is Silver Snow Official. Luo Feng said, Silver Snow Official Ji Tian Song belongs to one of the 300 emperor officials. He is one of the oldest officials that has followed the Ganwu universe country leader for the longest. He is highly regarded by the country leader. As Luo Feng spoke, his eyebrows creased. This Ji-Shur family wasn't to be messed with. Behind them was the Ganwu universe country leader. Of course, the high and mighty Ganwu universe country leader. When it came to these small matters, he probably wouldn't even bother to interfere. That powerful, Thunder God muttered. Hong, however, was rather calm. Ji-Qing. Luo Feng continued. Universe level 9, a rare absolute genius of the Ji-Shur family, currently a core member of the Universe Mercenary Alliance. What? Hong fiercely stood up. Thunder God stared wide-eyed, his mouth wide open. After a while he said softly, My God, of the 5 great powers of humanity in the universe, the Virtual Universe Company and Battle Axe Dojo were slightly stronger. The other Universe Mercenary Alliance, Universe First Bank and Universe Galaxy Bank were slightly weaker. However, no matter. The 5 were still equal, becoming a core member of the Universe Mercenary Alliance. One definitely had to be an absolute genius to enter. She's actually... Hong's expression was complicated, shaking his head. Hong, hadn't even entered the Battle Axe Dojo's core. He didn't expect the seemingly normal girl he liked was actually a core member of the Universe Mercenary Alliance. Of the 5 great powers, only the Virtual Universe Company and Battle Axe Dojo would hold genius battles. Hence, the other 3 powers all cast their nets wide open to secretly recruit geniuses. This also resulted in the geniuses that were recruited not being very famous. Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God, the 3 brothers of Earth, sat together. I'm getting ahead of myself. Whether or not she's a core member of the Universe Mercenary Alliance has nothing to do with our relationship. Hong looked at Luo Feng. Third brother, you've seen the information. This Ji Shi family is obstructing me and Ji Qing. Do you have any way to solve this problem? Yes. Luo Feng nodded without hesitation. Thank you. Hong's eyes were filled with gratitude. Luo Feng smiled. Big brother, these few years you've always been helping me. Now it's my turn to help you. There's no need to thank me. With regard to mental state training, Hong had never found it troublesome and had always guided Luo Feng. Hong suddenly laughed, because deep within, Hong had always remembered the first time he met Luo Feng. His age was probably even older than Luo Feng's grandfather. Hence, he naturally had the feeling of caring for a younger generation, caring for a younger brother. Hong did this purely out of instinct. He had never thought of anything in return. Yuxiang Mountain, Primal Region, Luo Feng's villa. Luo Feng sat quietly before his desk. Troubled? Babata, who was on his shoulder, chuckled. Now you feel that things are troublesome? What troublesome? Big brother hasn't asked for my help in so many years. With his personality, this time he asked for my help. No matter what, I'll do it. Luo Feng smiled. What's more, this matter to me isn't too difficult. I just need to make a choice. Choice. Babata was curious. I have 2 ways to solve this problem. Luo Feng said. The first is to ask my teacher, True Yin Emperor, to appear. With my teacher's status, even the Ganwu country leader would have to give him some face. That Silver Snow official wouldn't dare be slow. As long as the problem isn't too big, my teacher just has to appear and the matter will be solved. This method was the simplest and most direct. However, Luo Feng didn't want to trouble his teacher easily. His teacher was very protective of him, and he had never asked his teacher for help before, asking once in a while. Luo Feng believed his teacher wouldn't reject. However, deep within, Luo Feng felt that unless there was no other way, it was better not to trouble his teacher. And the second? Babata asked. The second is for me to break through to Domain Lord level now. Luo Feng said, the moment I break through to Domain Lord level, I'll immediately be sent out by the Virtual Universe Company as a governor, and I'll be sent to my home in the Ganwu Universe country. According to the rules, I'll be in the Ganwu department of the Virtual Universe Company, occupying one of the highest positions. As the bridge between the Ganwu Universe country and the Virtual Universe Company, the moment I take up an important position, the group of undyings and nobles in the Ganwu Universe country will have to give me face. Give the Virtual Universe Company face. Luo Feng's position was extremely high. He was a Primal Region member. If a Primal Region member were to be sent out, his position would be extremely high too. Because within the Virtual Universe Company, a Primal Region member's position was comparable to an official level undying. The position naturally corresponded. Naturally, it would be one of the highest positions in the Ganwu Universe country. You're preparing to break through? Babata was shocked. Weren't you preparing to break through Purgatory Abyss? Hence, I'm thinking. Luo Feng frowned as he sat at his desk pondering. Actually, there was a third method, which was for Luo Feng to go through the virtual universe to meet Silver Snow, official GT Song. However, Luo Feng was, after all, only a universe-level Primal Region member. The chances of a Primal Region member dying were extremely high. Those that became undyings were few and far between. Even if they became undyings, they were usually official-level undyings. Only occasionally would an Emperor-level undying appear. GT Song himself was an official-level undying, and he had existed for trillions of years, He was an old official that the Ganwu universe country leader regarded highly. To a brat like Luo Feng, it was hard to say if he would fall in the future. Plus, Luo Feng couldn't affect him at all, hence he would at most treat him politely. However, the real problem was he probably wouldn't budge. I have no confidence in the third method. The first method is the most confident. My teacher, Truyan Emperor, is someone that can make friends with the universe country leaders, and he's also the upper echelon of the virtual universe company. If he appears, that Silver Snow official wouldn't dare take him lightly. The second method is for me to take up the position of a governor. When that time comes, I'll wield huge power and represent the virtual universe company. My words will be different. Luo Feng frowned. However, the second method is for me to give up on Purgatory Abyss. Purgatory Abyss. Confusion Galaxy definitely has a huge secret, it's just that I haven't found it yet. Purgatory Abyss is ranked number 1. The secret must be even bigger. Suddenly, Luo Feng's mind flashed with the Wolfman Ko Luo Fu's matter. His entire expression changed. Beads of cold sweat appeared on his forehead. He had unknowingly been affected by his greed again. In the previous 6 dangerous level missions, he had been pleasantly surprised with a purple 100 net leaf. Hence in Confusion Galaxy, he hadn't given up. Luckily, he had the Masha clansmen to explore. Hence, even though he had died a few times, he could still revive. Purgatory Abyss is ranked number 1. If I'm too confident, I'm afraid that'll be the time I fall. Luo Feng took a deep breath. When it's time to take a step back, always chasing the limits. I'm afraid that's not a good thing. What's more, even if I complete the Purgatory Abyss mission, it'll only be 1 million points. The purple 100 net leaf and flame void gold I got before, they far exceeded that. I'll give up. I'll give up the last Purgatory Abyss mission and prepare to break through to the Domain Lord level. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. He suddenly felt that sometimes giving up was also a form of reward. Teacher. Luo Feng stood in front of the screen. On it was his teacher, Tru Yin. What's up? Tru Yin smiled as he looked at Luo Feng. Teacher, I can feel that I can break through to the Domain Lord level at any time. Teacher, do you think it's better for me to stay at the universe level or enter the Domain Lord level? Luo Feng looked at Tru Yin. Even though he had already made his decision, he still wanted to hear his teacher's opinion. Oh, do you feel like you can break through? Tru Yin revealed a look of joy and laughed. Of course it's a breakthrough. In the path of cultivation, one should be cautious when one should be cautious, and brave when one should be courageous. Naturally, one should advance courageously in cultivation, cut through all obstacles. What was the point of staying at the universe level for thousands of years to compete with the younger generations? Charging into the region master level. At that time, the ones competing with you will be the region master level geniuses. The greater the pressure, the higher your fighting spirit. Luo Feng's eyes flashed. Let's advance. You must have an indomitable heart. Or the more. The realm of the Realm Lord was the stage where one's comprehension of the origin law would improve the fastest. You're all just playing around now. The Sector Lord battles are the most important and intense. Tru Yin looked at Luo Feng. You should have passed 2 impossible level missions by now. You still have one last chance. What's one less? If you lack points then, I'll use money to exchange for it. The points of an impossible level mission, I don't care about it. Even the highest exchange rate, 1 million points, only represented 1 million mixed elements. Tru Yin, this level of being, indeed wouldn't care. Didn't he see Sky, Feather Emperor, casually throw out a piece of flame void gold? An indomitable heart. It's just playing around now? Luo Feng was shocked within, after which he smiled at his teacher on the screen and said respectfully, Understood, teacher. I'll immediately break through to the Domain Lord level. Go. Go and explore the outside world. That's where the true strong live. Forever under the protection of the Virtual Universe Company. You won't grow. Tru Yin laughed loudly on the screen. HM. Luo Feng nodded. Update complete. The 10th chapter has ended. The 11th chapter was about to begin. Luo Feng was about to take on the position of a governor and explore the outside world. Tomorrow was Saturday. He had been working hard these past few days, and finally had a day of rest. He could also organize the plot and prepare for the 11th chapter. The day after tomorrow, May 22nd, the 11th chapter would officially begin its update. When the chapter ended, Tomato also pulled for monthly votes. To celebrate Luo Feng's exploration of the outside world, everyone gets some monthly votes. Chapter 618. That day, Luo Feng began his breakthrough. The Golden Horned Beast and Masha clansmen both had experience breaking through before, and the Golden Horned Beast and his earth body were both flesh and blood life forms. The evolution process was almost exactly the same. Very quickly, a life core formed within Luo Feng's body. Within the life core, there was a soul crystal and genetic energy crystal. Of course, this life core wasn't too important to Luo Feng. The life core corresponded to his earth body. The life core corresponded to the Masha clansmen. The core within the internal world was the true core of the three bodies. Half a day later, the Virtual Universe Company personnel stationed on Black Period Continent immediately rushed over to Luo Feng. Your Majesty Luo Feng, the Virtual Universe Network has discovered through your network that you've already stepped into the Domain Lord level. According to the company's rules, we need to confirm it in reality. The three black-clothed staff stood before Luo Feng and said respectfully. Luo Feng, however, revealed a smile. Whether it was the consciousness sensor helmet or the quantum computer, etc., as long as it was connected to the network, it would usually be equipped with a body check device. These devices were very ordinary. Their accuracy wouldn't be too high, hence he needed to check it in reality to confirm it. I understand. Luo Feng nodded. Please release your spirit energy and genetic energy. The leading staff said respectfully. All right. Luo Feng smiled and released a pure spirit energy. It swept through the surrounding region and returned within his body. After which he extended his right hand and a glaring gold light shot out. D. The instruments in the hands of the three black deacons sounded. The black deacons looked down and nodded slightly. Luo Feng's spirit energy and genetic energy had indeed reached Domain Lord Level 1. Your Majesty, please give us a drop of blood. Let us test and confirm if your body's genes have evolved. The leading staff said. Ichem. Luo Feng nodded. A drop of blood seeped out from his fingertip and flew towards the staff. Checking spirit energy, genetic energy, and blood, this was a very accurate way to confirm one's strength. Spirit energy could confirm one's soul level. Genetic energy could confirm one's physical body level. Blood could confirm one's genetic evolution level. Of course, there was another extremely accurate method, and that was to let a warrior directly use his spirit energy to enter Luo Feng's body and carefully check to see if he had a life core. However, this method was very insulting and dangerous. The life core was the core of a person. If someone took the opportunity to investigate and destroy the life core, wouldn't that mean the death of a prince? Furthermore, with His Highness's status, how could he tolerate someone else's careful investigation? The blood test has confirmed that Your Majesty's body can be greatly strengthened to the 9th level of the Domain Lord realm. The leading black-clothed official smiled and looked at Luo Feng. Your Majesty, all the information from the test has already been sent into the Virtual Universe Network. Congratulations, Your Majesty, on stepping into the Domain Lord level. Thank you, Luo Feng nodded. Since Your Highness has been confirmed to be an Area Lord, then according to the rules, Your Highness will have another chance to strengthen your body. The leading deacon smiled, his violet eyes filled with friendliness. We have already brought the nutrition cabin. There is enough nutrient fluid within, enough for Your Majesty to reach Domain Lord Level 9. Luo Feng nodded. The Virtual Universe Company was like that. Every one of their majesties didn't need to waste time on energy accumulation. The moment they stepped into the Domain Lord Level 1, they could use the nutrition cabin to strengthen to the Domain Lord Level 9. Ooh, a completely gray color nutrition cabin appeared before Luo Feng. The seemingly simple nutrition cabin was obviously not cheap to build. Of course, the nutrition fluid within the nutrition cabin was a truly precious thing. Your Majesty, This nutrition cabin can only be used by you alone. The leading black-clothed official smiled. Other than the nutrition cabin, there's another thing I need to tell you. Luo Feng stood there listening. The second thing is that once you reach the domain lord level, you'll have to be sent out. The leading black-clothed official looked at Luo Feng. According to the rules, you'll usually be sent out to your home. Your Majesty's hometown is the Ganwu Universe Country. I wonder if Your Majesty is willing to return to the Ganwu Universe Country and take up an important position in the Ganwu department of the Virtual Universe Company. If not, you can choose any other universe country. I'm willing to go to the Ganwu Universe Country. Luo Feng nodded. Your Majesty, the leading purple-eyed black-clothed official smiled. As you're a Primal Region member, the position you'll be assigned to in the Ganwu department of the Virtual Universe Company will be very high, with huge implications. Hence, it'll be decided by the upper echelons, after which the appointment will be made. This requires a long process. Usually the earliest would be a month, the latest would be half a year. Luo Feng nodded. Since the matter is done, we won't disturb you any further. The purple-eyed black-clothed official bowed. Behind him, the other two black-clothed officials bowed respectfully too. So. The three of them became three beams of light and flew away. Luo Feng watched as the three flew away, before returning to his chair in the living room. The efficiency is really low. Just one appointment would take at least a month. The latest would actually take half a year. Luo Feng shook his head and sighed. The bald, undying god Dylan, who had been following behind Luo Feng, sat beside, smiling. Your Majesty, as you're a Primal Region member, the appointment would definitely be the highest position in the Ganwu department, and the power and benefits involved would be huge. You'll need to go through a series of procedures before you can make the appointment. Tell me, what position can I take? Luo Feng was curious. The Ganwu department of the Virtual Universe Company in the Ganwu Universe Country. Under normal circumstances, there are 3 tycoons at the top. Dylan said, the Ganwu department is split into the military, business, and army. Those 3 tycoons are in charge of the military, business, and army. There's even an army? Luo Feng was shocked, because normally speaking, it was split into the military and business departments. Strictly speaking, the Ganwu department of the Virtual Universe Company is split into the military and business departments. Dylan smiled. The military department refers to the large number of warriors directly under the Virtual Universe Company, as well as the geniuses and grooming within the Ganwu Universe Country, etc. These are all part of the military department. The business department is the business side, with trillions of employees. The benefits involved are huge. Luo Feng nodded. The military and business departments were the main 2 departments of the Virtual Universe Company. This he knew long ago. However, Dylan smiled. The universe is vast, with trillions of races. Our human race often engages in large-scale wars with other races. Hence, in the 1008 universe countries, they all have a standing army. Universe army? Luo Feng squinted. The weakest army has to be at least universe level. Dylan said, maybe in a galaxy, the number of universe-level warriors can be counted on one hand. However, in the vast universe countries, to build an army of over 100 million universe-level warriors, 1 million sector lords, and over 10,000 undyings, it's still possible. Luo Feng held his breath. A super army led by over 10,000 undyings? Every universe army is an extremely important military force of the universe countries. Dylan said, hence the management of this army is extremely important. Luo Feng nodded. Right, such a terrifying super army. Who would manage it? Universe army. It's impossible for the upper echelon of a universe country to completely control it. Dylan said, every army of a universe country is usually managed by the upper echelon of the universe country itself and the upper echelon of the Virtual Universe Company, or Battle Axe Dojo, stationed in the universe country. Luo Feng was shocked. Just the Virtual Universe Company and Battle Axe Dojo, right? Dylan nodded. The 1008 armies of the 1008 universe countries, of which 504 are managed by the Virtual Universe Company and the universe countries themselves. The other 504 are managed by the Battle Axe Dojo and the Universe countries themselves. The Virtual Universe Company and Battle Axe Dojo looks like they're much stronger than the other three powers. Luo Feng was extremely shocked. Of the 5 powers, however, the other 3 powers couldn't even interfere with the 1,008 Universe country armies. Obviously, their power couldn't compare to the Virtual Universe Company and Battle Axe Dojo. Of course, they're much stronger. Dylan smiled and nodded. The 5 powers have always been led by the Virtual Universe Company and Battle Axe Dojo. Your home, Ganwu Universe Country, is coincidentally one of the 504 Universe countries under the Virtual Universe Company. Dylan smiled. Hence, the Ganwu Universe Country's army is managed by our Virtual Universe Company's Ganwu Department and the upper echelon of the Ganwu Universe Country. Hence, the Ganwu Department, other than the normal military department and business department, has an additional military department. Dylan smiled. Of course, the military department only has a portion of the army's management rights, unlike the 2 ministers of the Warriors Department and the Department of Commerce, who had absolute control over their respective departments. However, even so, the military department is still a powerful department. Luo Feng nodded. Right, a super universe army formed from the entire universe country's army. Even with a portion of the management rights, the Ganwu Department's military department was still very powerful. The Ganwu Department's 3 tycoons are the military department head, business department head, and military department head. Dylan smiled. To be able to become a department head of a certain universe country, one's power threshold is official level undyings. 3 official level undyings? Luo Feng was shocked within. Your Majesty, your power is definitely far from theirs. However, your position and authority in the company is indeed the same as the official level undyings. Dylan smiled. Hence, the moment your Majesty returns to the Ganwu Universe Country, then your position and authority will be the same as the 3 tycoons. Hence, your Majesty, you will become the 4th tycoon of the Ganwu Department. Dylan looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng held his breath as he listened. The Ganwu Department had a lot of authority in the Ganwu Universe Country. Even the most important army had a lot of control over them. Even the high and mighty Ganwu Universe Country leader had to obey the Virtual Universe Company. This naturally caused the Ganwu Department's authority to be ridiculously huge. The 4th tycoon? However, the Ganwu Department only has a total of 3 departments. Luo Feng was curious. P.S. 11th chapter of the Feudal Officials begins. Chapter 619. The 3 departments were divided by the 3 tycoons. What was the 4th tycoon doing? Looks like your Majesty hasn't searched for this information in detail. Dylan smiled. Luo Feng shook his head and smiled. It was only because of Hong's matter that he decided to reach the domain lord level earlier. Hence, he hadn't had the time to search for information and other preparations. The Primal Region members will be sent out. Their positions will be the supervisor envoys. Dylan said, their positions will be the same as the 3 department heads. Supervisor envoys, what do they do? Luo Feng was curious. Just a title? No actual power? It was very important to have real power. Just having a high position, but no actual power was useless. Luo Feng knew about these things back on Earth. Of course they have actual power, Dylan said, and they have a lot of power. Luo Feng listened carefully. Our Virtual Universe Company's Ganwu Department represents the company to manage many matters in the Universe Country. Even many of the undyings in the Ganwu Universe Country are friendly with the 3 department heads. Can you imagine just how shocking is their power? Dylan exclaimed. It's because their power is too great. Even the undyings have their ambitions. As time goes by, for the sake of ambition and greed, they do things that harm the Virtual Universe Company's interests. That's very normal. Luo Feng nodded. Indeed, that was the case. Power corrupts. What's more, having so much power over Universe Country. Hence, the supervisor envoys are like their names. They have the right to monitor. Dylan smiled. They can monitor the 3 department heads. The moment they discover anything fishy, they can report it to the headquarters. No matter how powerful they are, They won't be able to withstand such serious checks. What's more, if there really is something fishy, then all the more they won't dare mess with you. Those 3 department heads will definitely coax you. They won't dare mess with you. Dylan smiled. As long as you become a sector lord, your position as a governor will automatically end, and they'll be able to relax. After all, there are too few Primal Region domain lords. I'm afraid it'll take 10 million years, or even longer, before a supervisor envoy lands in the Ganwu universe country. Ah, Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Supervisor envoy? This was equivalent to representing the headquarters to monitor. This power was indeed not small. This is the most basic power of the supervisor envoy. Dylan laughed. From a nurturing point of view, the virtual universe company will also arrange for your majesty to do other things. Some things, if your majesty does well, you'll be able to gain points. Luo Feng nodded. That was right. Domain Lord and Sector Lord level geniuses also had their own ways of obtaining points. It was just that it wasn't as easy as the universe level. The news of Luo Feng becoming a domain lord quickly spread throughout Yuxiang Mountain. Yuxiang Mountain, as the virtual universe company's pinnacle of geniuses, everyone was incomparably jealous of the Primal Region. Hence back then when Luo Feng entered the Primal Region through the qualification battles, these geniuses all knew about it. Back then they were all shocked. This Luo Feng entering the Primal Region in his first qualification battle, it was truly impressive. But who would have thought? In just 10 years, Luo Feng actually rushed to domain lord level and was sent out. Has this Luo Feng gone stupid? Our Yuxiang Mountain Primal Region geniuses, 90% of them can break through to the domain lord level at any time. But how many of them are as crazy as him? Universe level geniuses and domain lord level geniuses, the difference in strength is huge. I heard that the weakest domain lord in the absolute beginning secret area has passed the 8th level of the heavenly bridge, and the weakest domain lord in the primal secret area has passed the 10th level. Even the strongest universe level genius Fei Tuo, if thrown into the domain lord level, he would barely be able to stay in the absolute beginning region. Has this Luo Feng gone crazy? Who knows? Within a private room, within the Banyan Manor Hotel in the public region, the top 10 of the genius battle back then were all gathered here, mainly to send Luo Feng off. Whether it was Rong Jun or Bolin, when they found out that Luo Feng had actually broken through to the domain lord level, they were all stunned. Madman, we've known each other for so many years, and I've always thought you were crazy. However, this time, you're even crazier than I thought. Rong Jun raised his wine glass. No matter how much of a genius one is, they usually stay in the universe level for over 1,000 years before breaking through. Most of them stay for thousands of years before breaking through. However, just for your madness, madman, I toast you. Ha, savage, come drink. Luo Feng raised his glass. Ha! The two of them clinked their glasses and raised their heads to drink. Madman. Wuka stood up and smiled. The universe-level geniuses stay in their levels for thousands of years, and the domain lord-level geniuses stay in their levels for tens of thousands of years. Hence the domain lord-level members of the absolute beginning region. The weakest has passed the 8th level of the heavenly bridge, and the lowest in the primal region is the 10th level. I know this. Luo Feng smiled. Absolute beginning region domain lords of the 139 have passed the 8th level, 58 have passed the 9th, and 3 have passed the 10th. Of the 10 domain lords in the primal region, 9 have passed the 10th, and 1 has passed the 11th. Am I right? Wuka was speechless. The others in the private room all quietened down. According to what they knew, Luo Feng had only passed the 7th level. He was much weaker than the Domain Lord Absolute beginning members, much less the Primal Region members. What's there to be afraid of? The Domain Lord qualification battles happen once every 1,000 years. There's still a few hundred years till the next one. Luo Feng smiled. After a few hundred years, my strength will probably rise again. Bolin, who had been silent all this while suddenly looked up, his voice cold. In a few hundred years, do you have confidence in passing the 10th level? Luo Feng went silent. The heavenly bridge had 3 levels. 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 9, 10 to 12. Hence, going from the 9th to the 10th was an incredibly difficult hurdle. Those absolute geniuses that had trained for tens of thousands of years were all geniuses from the many genius battles and hero battles. However, those that had trained for tens of thousands of years to pass the 10th level, only a little more than 10 of them. And these 10 were all the most exceptional from the genius battles or hero battles or even absolute geniuses nurtured by the Virtual Universe Company. They were all incredible. They still spent over 10,000 years to pass the 10th level. From the 9th to the 10th, it could be said the difficulty was even higher than the 1st to the 9th combined. You have confidence. Bolin stared at Luo Feng and asked again. Huh? Luo Feng laughed. At least, I have the courage to fight. What's more, who knows what will happen in the future? The group of people at the table went silent. They all felt Luo Feng's indomitable heart. This was a conviction that would never retreat. Even though they understood this, the others didn't learn from Luo Feng, because Luo Feng broke through as a Primal Region Universe level member, and none of them were able to enter the Primal Region. Primal Region, Black Period Continent. Your Majesty, don't worry. Dylan looked at Luo Feng. Don't worry. Luo Feng frowned. The Primal Region is simply too far from the Ganwu Universe country. Even if I take a universe ship that can travel at 50 times light speed, it would still take over a year. A year's time, I'm very worried about my big brother right now, but after a year, who knows what will happen? Unless I go trouble my teacher. Your Majesty, unless there's no other way, it's best not to trouble the ancestor. The bald Dylan said. Of course I understand. Luo Feng frowned, but the flight time... Your Majesty. The bald man smiled. I've said it before, Your Majesty doesn't have to worry in the universe. Other than a universe ship, there's another faster way to reach the Ganwu Universe country. Luo Feng was shocked. What way? Your Majesty should have been to Primal Universe City before. The bald man smiled. Luo Feng nodded. Primal Universe City is in the Primal Universe. And the Primal Universe and the ancient Primal Universe we live in, the distance between the two, no matter how close, is still much further than when you go to the Ganwu Universe country. The bald man said, however, back then, when you went to the Primal Universe, it was extremely fast, right? Luo Feng nodded. Very fast. It was because we went through the Universe Passage. Luo Feng remembered clearly. Back then when he sat in the Nine-Blade Knights universe ship and went through the Universe Passage to the Primal Universe. In that passage, the time flow was unstable. It made the group of geniuses very uncomfortable. Right, the Universe Passage. The bald man nodded. Not only that, like the Black Dragon Mountain Empire Your Majesty lived in, behind the Empire is the Sacred Land Black Dragon Mountain. That Sacred Land Black Dragon Mountain is actually a god country. And within the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, there's a fixed passage that leads to the Sacred Land Black Dragon Mountain. Luo Feng nodded. He knew this. And the god countries are all in the crevices of the universe space. The bald man Dylan smiled. Those passages that connect the god countries to the outside world are all teleportation passages. Whether it's the god country space passage or the higher level Primal Universe passage, they're all teleportation passages. Dylan smiled. Allowing two places that are originally over 100 million light years, or even further, to instantly arrive through the passage. These are all fixed space passages. Dylan sighed. For any fixed passageway, the farther the 2 points are connected, the greater the price it costs. Even if it's a short distance, it'll still require tens of thousands of mixed elements. Some of the further ones may require millions of mixed elements, even tens of millions of mixed elements to build a fixed passage. Luo Feng was shocked. The cost of a fixed passage was indeed huge. Other than being able to build a fixed passage, Dylan smiled. God countries can also do one-time teleportation. When I'm in my God country, as long as I leave a coordinate somewhere else in the universe, I'll be able to instantly create a space teleportation and do a one-time teleportation. Dylan exclaimed, this kind of teleportation has a smaller cost. However, every time I teleport, I'll have to create a space passage, According to the distance, the cost varies. To return to my god country from here, I'll have to create a teleportation, which consumes about 3 mixed elements of resources. From my god country to the Ganwu universe country, I'll need about 5 mixed elements. Dylan said. Luo Feng was shocked. Using the god country to teleport once would consume 8 mixed elements? Many Undying's wealth didn't even reach 10,000 mixed elements. Even his own teacher probably wouldn't bear to use it again and again. Creating an extremely long-distance space passage consumes a huge amount of energy. Hence, even the Undyings are used to using universe ships. Dylan said, unless it's an extremely urgent matter, fleeing, etc., only then will they choose to teleport back to the god country, or use the god country to instantly teleport to another place. Luo Feng sighed within. The god country was the majority of an Undying's life. It was a very mysterious existence, with many special abilities. No wonder the path to the primal universe is a fixed universe passage. If I had to create a teleportation every time and return, the cost, even the virtual universe company wouldn't be able to bear it. Luo Feng exclaimed within, if he wanted to return to the Ganwu universe country, to save time, he would have to spend a huge amount of resources. 2 chapters completed. The new chapter, everyone give your monthly votes, recommendation votes, etc. to support me, no matter what votes. Tomato loves them all. Chapter 620. The Primal Region was an ancient universe secret region. It was incomparably vast and vast. Black Period Continent. The palaces were continuous. One couldn't see the end of it. The past geniuses of the Primal Region all stayed here. And the control center of the entire Black Period Continent was a 66-story completely black tower. The lowest level of the tower was over 1,000 kilometers in length and width, its height reaching tens of thousands of kilometers. This tower controlled the surrounding space and time. Within the 45th level of the tower's hall, it was densely filled with intricate apparatuses and screens. Around these apparatuses were many silver armored personnel and very few black armored personnel. The huge screens hovered above the hall. Suddenly, one of the screens lit up. I want to take a universe ship and leave the primal region towards the Ganwu universe country. A voice suddenly resounded throughout the hall. Immediately, the group of black-robed men in the hall looked up and saw a figure appear on the large screen. It was a black-haired young man wearing a layer of silver armor. It's His Majesty Luo Feng. His Majesty Luo Feng is leaving for the Ganwu universe country now? Hasn't the order been passed down yet? The distance from here to the Ganwu universe country is very far. Even if you take the highest quality F-grade universe ship, it would still take 1 to 2 years. And the order would take at most half a year to pass down. It wouldn't be strange for His Majesty to leave now. The group of black-armored men discussed softly. Another black-armored man walked to the control board and pressed a button, saying respectfully, Your Majesty Luo Feng, your request has been passed down to the main control system. In a while, the authority will pass down the order. Black Period Continent. In the air above Luo Feng's palaces, a completely black flat universe ship floated. Within the universe ship, Dylan, this ship of yours is really not bad. An F-grade universe ship. I heard many Undyings can't even build one. Luo Feng sat on the sofa within the control room, looking around and smiling as he complimented. This Yinxing ship was awarded to me by my teacher after I made a huge contribution. Dylan sat on the sofa beside. Reward? Luo Feng was shocked. That third senior of his was indeed generous. This Yinxing ship's material was weaker than the Yun Mo planet ship. However, no matter what, it was still an F-grade universe ship. Master, we have obtained the authorization. We can leave now. A cute girl's head appeared on the small screen in the control room. The girl said in a crisp voice, Let's go. Dylan ordered. Yes. The Yinxing ship immediately began to move. Very quickly, its speed soared, becoming a blur as it swiftly flew into space. When they reached the edge of the Black Period space, there was a ripple in the space. The Yinxing ship passed right through the ripple. After half a day, in space, the Yinxing ship was like a huge flat fish in space. Your Majesty, We have already left the primitive secret realm. Dylan laughed. That primal region is the virtual universe company's core area. I don't dare to use my god country transfer there. I can do it now. Sorry for the trouble. Luo Feng stood up. He looked at the endless starry sky outside with a look of anticipation. He had never seen a divine nation teleportation before. It'll be quick. The bald man, Dylan, who was dressed in a gorgeous black robe, also stood at the side. His entire body was faintly rippling with a strong nomological aura. His eyes were looking at the endless void. Suddenly, an incomparably dazzling light lit up from Dylan's body and instantly spread out, covering the surrounding space of several kilometers. The entire ship was enveloped in the glaring light. This is... Luo Feng, who was also enveloped in the light, stared wide-eyed in shock. He could vaguely see a golden palace in the distance. This is the god country? Xiao. The entire Yanxing ship immediately followed the light passage and was absorbed into the god country. God country transfer was similar to an ultra-long-distance teleportation. However, this type of teleportation wasn't from comprehending the universe laws or from understanding the space laws. Instead, it was a special ability contained within the divine kingdom itself. This was an ability that the divine kingdom naturally possessed from the moment it was born. The Yanxing ship was enveloped in a glaring light and immediately vanished in space. Within the undying Dylan's god country. Luo Feng stood within the ship's control room. Through the external simulation, he looked at the beautiful god country outside. The dark blue color was like an endless sea of jade. There were only slight ripples on the surface of the sea, and above the endless blue sea floated a golden palace. That golden palace was like a star, constantly emitting light that illuminated the entire divine kingdom. This is my god country. Dylan stood beside Luo Feng and smiled. How beautiful, how majestic. Luo Feng looked at the distant golden palace, illuminating the entire god country ocean. Your Majesty, the god country is an undying's most important place. Dylan reminded Luo Feng. Hence you must never bring any threatening enemies into the god country. The moment you do, it'll be a true life or death battle. The moment it collapses, even if the undying survives, he'll never be able to advance. Luo Feng nodded. Also, the god country transfer has to be done in a very secretive place, with no other undyings within a certain range. Dylan said, because the moment you do it, it will reveal the location of the god country. If other undyings find out where it is, it'll be a nightmare. Luo Feng nodded. The divine kingdom was like one's core. It was his lifeblood. He must never reveal it. This time, although Dylan had brought himself and his guards into the divine kingdom on the spaceship, the divine kingdom did not have enough manpower. However, as there weren't any undyings within the guards, they weren't a threat to Dylan at all. Then shall we head to the Ganwu universe country now? Dylan looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng nodded. Dylan's entire body emanated origin law energy. Simultaneously, the golden palace within the god country suddenly glowed incredibly brightly, forming a beam of light. Rumble. The beam rushed into the sky. The Yanxing ship also swiftly flew towards the pillar of light, flying straight into it and disappearing into thin air. So, the long-distance teleportation was complete, and the beam of light dissipated. Within the Ganwu universe country, on the surface of a nameless mineral planet, a blinding light appeared out of nowhere, and a flat universe ship appeared out of nowhere. Your Majesty, right now, we're within the Ganwu universe country's Rock Starfield. Within the control room, Dylan stood beside Luo Feng and smiled. I've left a thread of my undying energy on this planet. Hence, no matter how far it is, I'll be able to sense it through the god country. I'll be able to teleport there. One has to leave a thread of undying energy before teleporting. Luo Feng asked curiously. Yes. Dylan nodded. One has to confirm the destination before teleporting. And an undying's undying energy is unique. Every undying's energy is unique. Hence, it can be used as a location marker. Luo Feng nodded. An undying's undying energy was indeed unique. Every god's energy was different. According to what you're saying, to teleport the god country to a certain place, one has to leave a marker there. Luo Feng frowned. Which means these places, you've been to them before, right? Dylan smiled. For example, if I've never been to a place before, naturally I won't be able to teleport there. How far is this place from Jade Dome Planet? Luo Feng asked. This marker is the closest to Jade Dome Planet out of all the markers I have. Dylan said, from here, will the universe travel and travel at 50x light speed in the dark universe? It'll take about 12 days. Ah, Luo Feng nodded. 12 days, traveling in the vast universe. 12 days was indeed an extremely short amount of time. Let's go. Luo Feng smiled. Yes. Dylan nodded. Luo Feng returned to his own resting cabin. This was specially prepared by Dylan. It was extremely luxurious. With a wave of his hand, Luo Feng took out a nutrition cabin from his space ring and placed it on the ground. I haven't had the time to soak in the nutrition cabin. Luo Feng looked at the nutrition fluid within the nutrition cabin and thought, for my Earth body to rise from Domain Lord Level 1 to Domain Lord Level 9, I'm afraid it'll take half a year. It's just that recently I've been busy with Big Brother's matters, hence I can only soak in the nutrition cabin. Wah! After the nutrition cabin confirmed Luo Feng's identity, it automatically opened, after which Luo Feng laid naked in the ice-cold and precious nutrition liquid. The endless special energy immediately began to permeate his skin, muscles, organs. It began a swift transformation process. 12 days later, after Dylan woke Luo Feng up, he came to the control room. Your Majesty, the 10 Sector Lord Guards bowed respectfully. Luo Feng nodded. Along the way, the Sector Lords, Domain Lords, and Universe-level soldiers of the guard team were all in the Universe ship. Only now, when they were about to reach their destination, did the 10 Sector Lords come out of the cabin. Dylan smiled and pointed at the space outside. Your Majesty, look, that's Jade Dome Planet. Luo Feng stood in the control room and looked out. In the distant space, there was an incredibly glaring planet. It was completely blue. Your Majesty, Jade Dome Planet is one of the 9 first-class administrative planets within the Ganwu Universe Country. As the Ganwu Universe Country's territory is simply too vast, hence they created this first-class administrative planet to better control the entire country. This Jade Dome Planet is the political center of the surrounding 1,000 star fields. Dylan smiled and explained, and Jade Dome Planet itself is a man-made planet within the God Country. It's not naturally formed. The entire planet's diameter is 980 kilometers. It's comparable to a normal star size. Luo Feng smiled. There should be a universe galaxy bank on this planet, right? Of course there is. Dylan nodded. In a while I'll go to the Universe Galaxy Bank to transfer the 8 mixed elements to you. Luo Feng smiled. Universe Galaxy Bank. It was time for him to collect his teacher's inheritance. Today's situation wasn't too good, hence he missed a chapter. As today's chapter was late, Tomato owed everyone 2 chapters. He'll make up for it within these 2 days. Please forgive me, everyone. The main thing is that Tomato and his wife have been out on their honeymoon, hence they're very busy sometimes. Tomorrow morning, he'll have to accompany his wife to climb a mountain. Please forgive me. Tomato's updates are still working hard to ensure they're normal. Chapter 6:21. If the Undyings wanted to earn huge amounts of wealth, they usually had to risk their lives. Many normal Undyings with over 100 million years of lifespan only had wealth of up to 10,000 mixed elements. On average, they wouldn't even earn 1 mixed element in 10,000 years. This was also why the Undyings would rather take universe ships to roam the universe and not use the convenient God Country transfer. Even the Emperor-level Undyings were used to taking ships, because the God Country transfer used up a shocking amount of resources. And to these Undyings, spending a few years to travel wasn't much at all. Just immersing themselves in studying the laws. By the time they opened their eyes, a few years would have passed. Your Majesty, there's no need for that. Dylan said, how can we do that? We were able to reach Jade Dome Planet so quickly because of the God Country transfer. And the God Country transfer uses up so much resources. How can we let Dylan pay for it? Luo Feng smiled, looking at the distant, beautiful planet. Jade Dome Planet. Jade Dome Planet. The color is very similar to my home. Your Majesty's home? Dylan looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng nodded. Earth. He hadn't returned for over 200 years. When the F-grade universe ship neared the atmosphere of Jade Dome Planet, Luo Feng and the guards all flew out of the cabin door. Who? Dylan waved his hand, and the F-grade universe ship disappeared. Let's go to Jade Dome Planet, Luo Feng ordered. Yes, Your Majesty. An undying 10 sector lords, 100 domain lords, and 1,000 universe-level warriors formed a guard army that replied in unison. After which, the guard army surrounded Luo Feng and became beams of resplendent lights that flew towards Jade Dome Planet, swiftly breaking through the atmosphere and heading deeper into the planet. After a while, an incredibly majestic ancient city appeared in Luo Feng's vision. Those ancient cities, from the surface, one couldn't see any technology at all. Your Majesty, this Jade Dome Planet is the political center of close to 1,000 starfields, one of the 9 great first-class administrative planets of the Ganwu Universe Country. It's also where countless Sector Lord families and even undying families have their branches here. Dylan looked down at the ancient city that was getting closer. Hence on Jade Dome Planet, the strong are as common as the clouds. Even Sector Lords have to be low profile. Luo Feng nodded. The Ganwu Universe Country had so many undyings, there were probably quite a few of them on Jade Dome Planet. Let's enter the city, Luo Feng ordered. Yes. Under Luo Feng's lead, the 1,000-plus people descended into the ancient city. Jade Dome Planet, Xiang Shui City, one of the 108 major cities, had very strict management. Even those disciples from large clans or sector lords from certain starfields had to follow the rules and enter the city through the gates. It was absolutely forbidden to fly into the city. Those who dared to do so were definitely people with power and authority in the Ganwu Universe Country. Furthermore, flying was prohibited in the city. Look, that group of people actually flew down directly. On a street that was hundreds of meters wide in Xiang Shui City, the residents of Jade Dome Planet with different appearances and noble statuses looked up in shock at the black mass of people descending from the sky. They were like dark clouds descending, especially the faint aura of a world that they gave off. Some were as hot as fire, some as cold as ice, some as stable as a mountain. 10 sector lords naturally gave off an aura that shocked the people on the streets. Even though on Jade Dome Planet, sector lords weren't rare, they were still very noble beings. After all, those high above undyings wouldn't even bother to show themselves in 10,000 years. 10 sector lords were the strongest warriors that the residents of Jade Dome Planet could see. 10 sector lords, and all of them were recognized by the origin laws. Even if one ransacked an entire starfield, they might not even be able to gather 10 sector lords recognized by the origin laws. Let's go, Luo Feng ordered, and the group swiftly became blurs as they left. Who are those people? 10 sector lords? What's their background? The passers-by on the streets glanced at each other, completely stunned. Any world overlord would be able to establish a powerful clan. But now, these 10 world overlords were merely followers? That silver-armored black-haired youth, is he an important core member of the 300 emperor families in our universe country? And he has to be the most pampered member. Otherwise, how could he have 10 sector lords as followers? I didn't see wrongly right. Those 1,000-plus people, even the weakest, is universe level. The people on the streets were all exclaiming. They believed that Luo Feng should be an important member of one of the pinnacle families in the universe country. Otherwise, he wouldn't have such a grand entrance. Even on the first-grade administrative planet, Jade Dome Planet, it was rare to see such an entrance. Luo Feng and the bustling group entered a luxurious villa in Xiang Shui City. It was called Swallow Mountain Villa. The prices in Xiang Shui City are really high. Just this villa alone, I bought it in the virtual universe network. I spent 12 billion universe dollars. Luo Feng smiled. Buying some small galaxies would probably only cost 100 billion universe dollars. To be able to buy such a huge villa on Jade Dome planet, one really has to have some capital. Haha, it's indeed expensive. However, to your majesty, it's nothing. If your majesty were to come openly, the Ganwu universe country would have already arranged everything. There's no need for you to buy this villa. Your majesty likes to be low profile, understand? The 10 sector lords all smiled and agreed. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. All right, this villa will be our residence on Jade Dome planet. Dylan, follow me on a trip. The rest can stay here temporarily. Yes, your majesty. Over 1,000 guards replied respectfully. Luo Feng nodded. Let's go, Dylan. Luo Feng walked out. Follow me to the Universe Galaxy Bank. Yes. Dylan nodded slightly. There were 108 cities on Jade Dome planet, and every city had a Universe Galaxy Bank. After all, the people living on Jade Dome planet were definitely the wealthiest people in the Ganwu universe country. Even the most normal residents on Jade Dome planet could easily buy a life planet in a few galaxies. Those low-level civilizations, royals, if they came here, they would be considered the lowest class. For the Universe Galaxy Bank to have 108 of them on Jade Dome planet, it wasn't strange at all. Universe Galaxy Bank. Luo Feng looked at the distant tall bank skyscraper. That artistically designed skyscraper was surrounded by grass for a few km, and all he could see were people from various starfields discussing. I wonder how much money is in the bank account my teacher left me. Luo Feng thought. After all, he invested a huge amount of money in the Yin Mo planet ship and cloud contact vine. However, with his strength, an official level undying strength, his wealth shouldn't be small. He thought within. However, Luo Feng didn't stop, bringing Dylan quickly to the main entrance of the skyscraper. Respected guest, the Universe Galaxy Bank welcomes you. A robot beside the entrance said respectfully. That voice was infused with a simple soul signal, making anyone who heard it feel extremely comfortable. Within the main hall of the bank, a group of people were seated, taking turns to enter the reception room to do some business. Luo Feng and Dylan, however, stood there silently. The bank's AI system scanned Luo Feng and Dylan. According to their life energies, they swiftly confirmed their identities. As one of the 5 great Leviathans, the Universe Galaxy Bank naturally had information on the Primal Region member Luo Feng and the Undying Dylan in its database. Luo Feng and Dylan, their statuses were extremely high. Even the head of this branch didn't have the authority to receive them. Will the two of you please follow me? A delicate and pretty green-clothed lady walked out from the reception room, walking towards Luo Feng and Dylan, and said respectfully. Luo Feng and Dylan followed the green-clothed lady, taking the escalator and quickly arriving at the 9th level of the bank. 2 guests. The green-clothed lady smiled. Due to your high statuses, our branch doesn't have anyone to receive you. Hence, you can only communicate with our Galaxy Bank's AI system. Luo Feng and Dylan nodded. This was for the sake of confidentiality. The higher one's status, the more confidential some of their business was. Dylan, you stay here, I'll go in. Luo Feng said. Yes. Dylan nodded. Hua. The glass door of the hall automatically opened. Luo Feng stepped in, and the glass door automatically closed. Even though it was just a glass door, be it spirit energy or genetic energy or any other scanning signals, they were unable to penetrate this special glass. Within the glass door, respected guest, how do you do? An incredibly beautiful lady with a red furry tail bowed. How do you do? I need to withdraw some money. Luo Feng nodded. With one look, he could tell that this lady was actually a robot, just that she had an extra layer of skin. Please enter your account number. The robot lady smiled. 8,492, 8,593, WOXH, 8,528, 5,285, 032. Luo Feng swiftly reported. I need to confirm your spirit energy. The robot lady extended her right hand. Please use your spirit energy to scan my right hand. Luo Feng nodded. A thread of spirit energy swiftly scanned the right hand of the robot lady. His teacher's inheritance could only be received by the UNMO planet disciples. This was an extremely important step. The data matches. Please enter the 4-dimensional passcode. The robot lady continued. Luo Feng swiftly entered the incomparably complicated passcode, simultaneously staring at the screen before the robot lady. The passcode passed. The robot lady smiled. Luo Feng ordered balance check. At this time, Luo Feng couldn't help but feel nervous. The inheritance his teacher had left for him. Just how much was it? The screen flashed, and a line of numbers appeared. Balance, 312, 2810 mixed elements. P.S. Chapter 1. Chapter 622. Looking at the balance, Luo Feng couldn't help but smile. His teacher Hu Yin Bo had indeed left enough for his disciple, a total of 12 million mixed elements. This was such a huge amount of wealth. It was enough to buy a few starfields. Of course, Luo Feng's position was different now. Even though he was excited, he didn't go crazy. This was because Luo Feng had the Yun Mo planet ship, close to 10,000 blood river crystals, flame void gold, purple 100-net leaf, and Luo Fuqi plate. These were all treasures worth millions of mixed elements. Of course, Luo Feng couldn't bear to sell them for money. Hence, he couldn't even take out the 8 mixed elements needed for the God Country transfer. The reason why he couldn't take it out was because a portion of it was invested in Ping Hai Company. The second was to buy the metals needed for the Golden Horned Beast's evolution. Cash. The feeling of having cash is really different. Luo Feng looked at the balance on the screen and smiled. With over 3 million mixed elements, whether it's repairing the Yun Mo planet ship or evolving the Cloud Contact Vine to Sector Lord level, there won't be any problems. Transfer. Luo Feng ordered. Transfer to the account with my spirit imprint. All right. The robot lady smiled and nodded. Transfer successful, Mr. Luo Feng. The robot lady smiled. There's still 3 mixed elements in one of your accounts. Do you want to transfer? Accounts? Luo Feng was stunned. Right. Back then, when his teacher died on Earth, before he died, he swiftly set up a bank account in the virtual universe network, with 2 accounts for the star level and universe level to get his inheritance. As for the area lord level, they would receive the highest total account. There's actually 3 mixed elements? Luo Feng exclaimed within. His teacher was indeed generous. The star level account had 10 billion Ganwu dollars. This was comparable to a universe level warrior's wealth. The universe level account had 3 mixed elements. This was comparable to a normal sector lord's wealth. The domain lord account had 12 million mixed elements. This was his teacher's entire wealth. Transfer it. Luo Feng nodded. All right. The robot lady swiftly transferred everything to Luo Feng's spirit imprint account. This spirit imprint account was the safest account in a vast universe. As long as one had a spirit imprint, there wouldn't be 2 life forms with the same spirit imprint. Hua! The glass door opened and Luo Feng walked out. Your Majesty. Dylan looked at Luo Feng. I just transferred 8 mixed elements to your account. Did you receive it? Luo Feng looked at Dylan. I got it. Dylan nodded, but he felt a little helpless. Dylan, was already one of the top undying generals. His true battle strength was already close to that of an official, or could barely make it. His wealth naturally wasn't small, even though spending 8 mixed elements like this was a little painful. However, Luo Feng was after all his junior master. Spending money for him wasn't a big deal. In his opinion, even though his junior master seniority was higher than his, he was just a domain lord level genius. How much wealth could he have? How could he compare to an undying like him? But Luo Feng insisted on returning it, so of course he couldn't refuse. This little Uncle Master really has a backbone. He doesn't easily owe others favors, Dylan thought. Let's return. Luo Feng smiled. After receiving over 3 million mixed elements, Luo Feng was in a great mood. Yes, Your Highness. Dylan immediately accompanied Luo Feng, leaving the Universe Galaxy Bank and returning to Luo Feng's newly purchased Swallow Mountain Villa. Swallow Mountain Villa Within a study, Luo Feng sat cross-legged, a thread of his consciousness swiftly connected to the virtual universe network. Virtual universe, Yuxiang Mountain, primal region, Luo Feng's living quarters. Within the study. Haha, Luo Feng. Your teacher must have left quite a bit for you. Babata shouted from his shoulder. Luo Feng sat before his desk and looked at his laptop screen. On it was a mail. It was from the Universe Galaxy Bank. The content was congratulating Luo Feng on becoming a 4-star client. 4-star client? Luo Feng looked at the mail and smiled. Babata, I remember the 3-star client's minimum requirement is 10 mixed elements. This mail says the minimum requirement for a 4-star client is 10,000 mixed elements. Then what about a 5-star client? The minimum requirement for a 5-star client is 10 million mixed elements. Babata laughed. Even your teacher, when he had the most cash, he had over 10 million mixed elements. But later on, he spent 2 million mixed elements on the Cloud Contact Vine, and with good luck, he finally managed to let the Cloud Contact Vine reach immortal level. With the undying Cloud Contact Vine working with your teacher, the two working together, even an official level undying would find it very hard to kill him. It's a pity that he eventually met an undying that was proficient in the soul aspect and barely became an emperor-level undying. Luo Feng nodded. 10,000 mixed elements was a 4-star account. 10 million was a 5-star account. He only had about 3 million mixed elements in his account. Naturally, it was a 4-star account. However, Luo Feng, a normal undying's wealth is around 10,000 mixed elements. Babata said, a very weak and poor undying, their wealth might not even reach 1,000 mixed elements. And an official level undying, their normal wealth is around 10 million mixed elements. And I'm talking about wealth, not cash. Luo Feng nodded. Those warriors had long converted their wealth into strength. For example, his teacher, Hu Yinbo, had spent a huge amount of wealth on the Cloud Contact Vine, causing it to reach undying level, immediately giving his teacher the strongest assistant. It was a pity. In the end, the pair still fell. My total wealth is around 10 million mixed elements. Luo Feng thought. Flame Void Gold, Purple 100 Leaf, Luo Fuqi Plate, these three add up to about 5 million mixed elements. The Yin Mo planet ship's value is also over 3 million mixed elements. Of course, the most valuable thing I have is the Blood River crystals. Those close to 10,000 crystals, just by exchanging with the Virtual Universe Company, it could be exchanged for millions of points. And the rarer something was, the more valuable it was. With the Virtual Universe Company monopolizing the crystals, the true value of the crystals would definitely exceed millions of points. Hence, these crystals were the most valuable thing he had. My teacher's wealth, along with the miraculous encounters from the few missions, it actually gave me such a huge amount of wealth. Luo Feng sighed to himself. Of course, compared to my other teacher, True Yin, this doesn't count for much. My teacher, True Yin, can casually throw out over 1 million mixed elements. Different statuses, naturally the wealth would be different. An Emperor-level undying was much stronger than an official-level undying. And the pinnacle Emperor level, even close to the Universe Country leader-level True Yin Emperor. His wealth was naturally even more shocking. However, as a teacher, he had a large number of disciples. At most, he would occasionally help a few. He couldn't just pass his wealth to a single disciple. Unless it was like Hu Yinbo, the other disciples all died, only leaving his wealth to the sole disciple Luo Feng. Luo Feng sat before his desk and swiftly tapped on his laptop screen, buying some precious items that could allow the Cloud Contact Vine to break through to Sector Lord level. Buying treasures in the Virtual Universe Company, one could use points to exchange or cash. Just like when Luo Feng bought the metal the golden horned bee swallowed, he used cash. Luo Feng looked shocked at the screen. There were 3 choices on the screen. 1. The Cloud Contact Vine evolved from Domain Lord Level 9 to Sector Lord. Normal evolution, 3 years, 11,800 mixed elements required. 2. The Cloud Contact Vine evolved from Domain Lord Level 9 to Sector Lord. Normal evolution, 1 month, 19,200 mixed elements required. 3. The Cloud Contact Vine evolved from Domain Lord level 9 to Sector Lord. Super evolution, 3 months to 6 months, 32,000 mixed elements, 56,000 mixed elements, and 85,000 mixed elements required. Super evolution. Luo Feng frowned. Luo Feng gently tapped on it and looked at the details of the 3 choices. The Cloud Contact Vine's different paths of evolution. The difference in strength was huge too. From how many vines the Cloud Contact Vine had, one could determine its level of evolution. The Sector Lord Cloud Contact Vine had at least 36 vines. This was the worst-case scenario. The highest it had was 360 vines. This was the best-case scenario. My Cloud Contact Vine is currently Domain Lord level 9, with 108 vines. Luo Feng looked at the details of the super evolution. The super evolution was split into 3 precious items, the price ranging from 32,000 mixed elements to 85,000 mixed elements. According to the description, if my Cloud Contact Vine uses the best super evolution, it should be able to produce 216 vines. Luo Feng frowned as he looked. His Cloud Contact Vine only had 216 vines at best. Babata, what's going on? Luo Feng frowned. The Sector Lord Cloud Contact Vine has 360 vines. That's the legendary limit of perfection. Babata said casually, from the start, one would need to spend an incomparably huge price when it reaches the Sector Lord level. It would require close to 1 million mixed elements. Close to 1 million mixed elements. Teacher has that much money, right? Luo Feng pondered. There's one more thing. Babata curled his lips. The higher the evolution of the Cloud Contact Vine, the harder it is to break through to the undying level. Teacher's Cloud Contact Vine back then only had 108 vines at Sector Lord level. However, it still used up 2 million mixed elements and a few lucky coincidences to allow it to break through to the undying level. As for the perfect state of the Cloud Contact Vine, the more perfect it is, the more the universe envies it. To become undying, that's too hard. Luo Feng nodded. However, Luo Feng, your resources, conditions, background, future prospects are much stronger than your teacher's Lone Ranger. You can now choose the best super evolution. Babata said Sector Lord level to be able to produce 216 vines in the future. Breaking through to the undying level might be hard, but maybe you still have a chance of success. Luo Feng didn't hesitate at all as he gently clicked on the best combination of the super evolved items. Luo Feng had plenty of confidence in the future. It was fine if he didn't step into the undying level, but the moment he did, he would definitely be an absolute warrior amongst the undying. At least he would first become an official, and then a king. Hence, his best helper Cloud Contact Vine had to be strong enough too. 85,000 mixed elements gone, just like that. Luo Feng shook his head and smiled. I'll get the Virtual Universe Company to help repair the UNMO planet ship. Luo Feng, I suggest that you not only repair the ship, but also get the Virtual Universe Company's people to modify the ship internally. Raise the ship's performance. In terms of technology, the Virtual Universe Company is the strongest amongst the human race. The ship modifications they make are incomparably powerful too. Chapter 623. Luo Feng immediately contacted the Virtual Universe Company's internal staff and explained his requirements. Your Majesty Luo Feng, please send us the detailed data and pictures of the ship you need to repair, as well as the specifications of the ship you need to modify. Send it all to us. The more complete, the better. We can also determine the cost based on the damage and the modifications. A gentle and clear voice resounded from the screen. All right, Luo Feng nodded, immediately sending over the information Babata had prepared. After a while, Your Majesty Luo Feng, our Virtual Universe Company's F-grade universe ship can reach 50 times light speed. Our technology is extremely mature. I advise Your Majesty to choose the limit of 50 times light speed performance configuration. If you raise the requirements, then the cost of the modifications will rise by leaps and bounds. And the normal performance ratio is the highest. A voice resounded from a screen. What about the flexibility in mobility? Luo Feng asked. It's also the normal specifications. The clear voice was very polite. Your Majesty, the repairs require 56,000 mixed elements. The internal modifications require 124,000 mixed elements, a total of 180,000 mixed elements. Luo Feng nodded. Babata had calculated before. If he bought the materials from the outside world for the virtual universe company's people to repair, just the materials alone would require about 80,000 mixed elements. Luckily, he was a Primal Region member, hence he had a discount. Your Majesty, our designers here are asking. This F-grade universe ship is constructed from hybrid copper essence. Its edges are very thin and sharp, and it contains engravings. It has very strong cutting power. However, the origin law engravings are rather simple and not complete. Would you like to complete it? The clear voice said. Luo Feng was stunned. The Yun Mo planet ship was a triangular ship. Its edges were incredibly sharp. However, what was with the origin law engravings? Agree with her. Babata urged from his shoulder. Which plans do you need to complete, and how much does it cost? Luo Feng asked. 1. A simple repair of the engravings. This can be done for free. The clear voice continued. 2. Complete the entire process, raising the ship's defense by 30%, its cutting power by 50%. The cost is 139,000 mixed elements. I agree to complete it. Luo Feng nodded. The Cloud Contact Vine used 85,000 mixed elements. The Yun Mo planet ship used 319,000 mixed elements, a total of 404,000 mixed elements. More than 400,000 mixed elements have been consumed so quickly. Luo Feng sat at his desk and looked at the screen. Spending money is really like flowing water. Right, Babata, what's up with this origin law engraving solidification? Why does it require 139,000 mixed elements? Don't be dissatisfied. Babata, who was on his shoulder, curled his lips. This law rune solidification is actually the law runes on many spirit weapons and origin weapons. By activating the mysterious runes, one could draw upon the power of the universe's origin laws to strengthen one's defense and attack. In order to build the Yun Mo planet ship, Master had spent a lot of effort and invited a very powerful expert to solidify the law runes. What a pity. The experts the Master hired, of course, they can't compare to the masters within the virtual universe company. Babata exclaimed, to be able to raise its defense by 30% and slashing attack by 50%. TSK. The virtual universe company's origin law engraving masters are truly impressive. This is an entire universe ship body being engraved with origin law engraving. Just the materials alone are already very expensive. 139,000 mixed elements. TSK. If it was your teacher who hired such an expert, the price would at least double. With the support of the virtual universe company, it's indeed very convenient. Luo Feng laughed. It was indeed convenient, however it still cost a lot. Jade Dome Planet, Water City, Swallow Mountain Villa. Within the underground warehouse, Luo Feng spent $12 billion universe dollars to buy this villa. One could imagine how huge it was. The entire villa was about 30 kilometers in length and width. Just the main building's underground warehouse alone was 3 kilometers in length and width. This was specially used by the big families and powers to store their universe ships. A body made of hybrid copper essence. 3 white-robed men stood within the warehouse, looking at the triangular universe ship before them. The 3 corners of the ship were curved, extremely thin and sharp. When this ship accelerates, even a planet can be easily sliced through. The leading white-robed old man smiled as he looked at Luo Feng, saying respectfully, Your Majesty Luo Feng will be taking this ship away. When will it be repaired and sent back? Luo Feng asked. The 3 before him were sent by the Virtual Universe Company. As Jade Dome Planet was an extremely important planet within the Ganwu Universe country, hence on Jade Dome Planet, there were many important members of the Virtual Universe Company here. Hence, when Luo Feng had just signed the contract online, the Virtual Universe Company had already sent people to take the ship away. Your Majesty, our virtual universe company has many repair and modification points within the human territory of the universe. Hence, it'll still be very fast. The longest time it takes to go back and forth is no more than 3 months. The white-robed old man said. HM, Luo Feng nodded. Take it with you. Yes. The white-robed old man looked at the UNMO planet ship. With a thought, the ship was immediately kept into his internal world. This handover process was transmitted directly into the virtual universe network. As long as the handover was completed, then Luo Feng wouldn't have to worry about the safety of the ship. If the escorts were incredibly greedy and daring to swallow the ship and flee in the universe, then the virtual universe company would immediately compensate Luo Feng with a ship that looked the same, but with better capabilities. As he watched the 3 white robe members leave in the ship, Luo Feng turned to Dylan beside him. Dylan, let's go. Follow me to see my big brother. Yes, Your Majesty. Dylan nodded. Dylan was the leader of Luo Feng's guard team. While he was out, he would always be by Luo Feng's side to protect him. Of course, as an undying, a large part of Dylan's consciousness was in the virtual universe network. He only needed a part of it in reality to reach the highest level of alertness. The moment something dangerous happened, Dylan's other part would immediately return to reality. Big brother. Luo Feng's eyes were filled with anticipation as he walked out of the Swallow Mountain Villa. It's been a long time since he saw his big brother in reality. Jade Dome Planet's 108 main cities. Grimoire City, a famous restaurant, Chunxing Restaurant's 3rd-level private room. This was the place Luo Feng and Hong agreed to meet. Third brother, there's another story behind this Grimoire City. You should know that Jade Dome Planet is a man-made planet. Back then, when this planet was just sent out from the God Country and placed in this space, the Ganwu Universe Country began a large-scale migration. Many large families immediately stationed here. Hong sat by the table, smiling. Families as many as the clouds, the strong as the clouds. Naturally, there were many conflicts later on. Because of a powerful Undying's inheritance, it caused a huge war among the Undyings. Luckily, it was a man-made planet. The materials used were extravagant, hence it was able to withstand the Undying's war. However, even so, that war still turned an area of 10,000 kilometers into ruins, after which they built this city, naming it Grimoire City. Actually, it's also a warning. Luo Feng nodded. Dylan, who sat beside Luo Feng, smiled. After the initial chaos on Jade Dome Planet, under strong control, it became much more peaceful. After being in Jade Dome Planet Grimoire City for so long, I've really fallen in love with this city. Hong exclaimed as he shook his head. Ha! Because there's a woman Big Brother likes here. Luo Feng smiled. Ha! Hong laughed self-deprecatingly. Big Brother, where are you staying now? Luo Feng asked. I'm currently following my teacher because he's interacting with an old friend, hence he's staying at his house. I'm staying there too. Hong lifted his wine glass and drank gently. Teacher's friend is called Bushka. He's a relatively strong Undying. Luo Feng asked, do your teacher and that Undying Bushka know about you and Ji Qing's matter? How can I hide this from them? Hong shook his head. Earlier, when my matter with Ji Qing was discovered by the Jishur family, they immediately sent people to Bushka's family. If it wasn't for Senior Bushka's face, I'm afraid the Jishur family would have immediately killed me. Luo Feng's expression changed. He could imagine that scene. His big brother and Ji Qing met and fell in love. He didn't even know of her background. Suddenly one day, the Jishur family's people rushed to Bushka's family and berated him, ordering Hong not to bother Ji Qing anymore. Anyone would be helpless in such a situation. The Jishur family, in terms of power, is much stronger than the Bushka family. Hence, Senior Bushka had no choice. Hong shook his head. Senior Bushka once went to visit Silver Snow Official on my behalf. However, that Silver Snow Official didn't even meet Senior Bushka. To make Senior Bushka lose face, because of me, Hong's expression was complicated. He raised his head and drank the wine in his glass. Luo Feng nodded as he heard. Bushka? Maybe he was a relatively strong Undying. However, the difference in power between Undyings was huge. That Silver Snow official Ji Tian-song was one of the 300 Emperor officials. He was an official level Undying a long time ago, and was also an old subject of the Ganwu country leader. Whether it was in terms of power or individual strength, he definitely suppressed Bushka. And this Silver Snow official, according to the information Luo Feng gathered with his authority, was obviously a very proud and aloof person. Bushka went to visit, yet Silver Snow official didn't meet him. This was within Luo Feng's expectations. Looks like this official level Undying is really angry about this matter and is really against it. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows as he pondered. When the official order is given, I'll become one of the highest echelons of the Ganwu department. Only then will my words have enough effect. Big brother, wait a few more days. The moment my order is given, I'll go meet Silver Snow official. Luo Feng said. 3 chapters completed. Today's edition, I still owe everyone one. Tomorrow, I'll continue to work hard. Pull down my monthly votes too. If I don't pull down my monthly votes, I'll always be suppressed. I hope the brothers and sisters of the Red Alliance will support me a little. Give me 1 or 2 monthly votes. Tomato stared wide-eyed at the monthly votes in everyone's hands. Chapter 624. When Luo Feng arrived on Jade Dome Planet and met with his big brother Hong in a restaurant, within the Tiansong city of Jade Dome Planet's 108 large cities, within the Silver Snow official residence. Silver Snow official Ji Tiansong had an extremely deep foundation in the Ganwu universe country. As one of the 300 Emperor officials, back then when this huge artificial planet Jade Dome Planet was constructed, there was a city named Tiansong, and this city, Tiansong City, was also managed by the Silver Snow official residence. Its power and influence far exceeded the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's sacred lands and godlords. Within the Silver Snow official residence, Master, a dark red-skinned, pointy-eared, jade-green-eyed skinny man knelt respectfully there. Hong has finally left the Bushka family's residence, heading to a restaurant called Chunxing Restaurant in Grimoire City to receive guests. That punk has finally come out? On the chair sat a man wearing a gorgeous robe with silver edges. The man had long black hair, a fair face, and a pair of black eyes that faintly glowed with silver light. In terms of appearance, he was very similar to the people of Huaxia on Earth, but his natural aura made it clear that he was of a higher status. Master? The dark red-skinned, skinny man looked up at the master before him. The Jishur family, as an ancient family that had existed for over 100 million years, had trillions of descendants. As a descendant of the Jishur family, there wasn't anything to be proud of. It was because the family was simply too huge that it was extremely difficult to stand out. Everything depended on one's own ability, and his master Jilan Deng had been extremely hard-working since young. His talent wasn't bad too, and he had finally become a universe-level warrior. To be able to become a universe level, he was naturally placed in an important position within the Jishur family, with over 1,000 life planets as his territory. However, within the huge Jishur family, Jilan Deng was still at the bottom. After all, there were many domain lords and sector lords within the family, and the universe levels were even more shocking. Jilan Deng was originally supposed to live a quiet life like this. However, one time he casually doted on a certain maid and had his daughter Ji Qing. Jilan Deng's fate immediately changed. His daughter Ji Qing had displayed shocking talent from a young age, growing at an unbelievable speed, immediately receiving the attention and nurturing of the Jishur family headquarters. After which, she was even taken in as a core member of the Universe Mercenary Alliance. Core members of the 5 great human powers? All of them were super geniuses. In the hundreds of millions of years of history, although the Ji clan had fostered a few core members that were taken in by the 5 great powers, they weren't of the Ji clan's bloodline, but were only geniuses that were born in the snow border starfield. Whereas, Ji Qing was the first peerless genius in countless years to be taken in by the 5 great powers early on. Even the ancestor of the Ji clan, the first patriarch, Silver Snow Marquis, Ji Tiansong, was shocked and delighted. Ji Qing's status in the family immediately soared. Ji Qing could be said to be one of the top 10 major characters in the clan. Even those world overlords didn't dare to act rashly in front of him. His daughter's status soared. As his father, Ji Deng's status naturally rose. He was in charge of the dozens of galaxies in the territory of the Snow Border Star region. Instantly, he became a high-ranking member of the Ji family. I didn't expect little Qing to fall in love with a guy from a barbarian planet in the years I wasn't here. No matter what, as a father, I will help little Blue get rid of anyone who stands in her way. Ji Deng's eyes flashed. Knowing about his daughter, Ji Deng immediately took a universe ship back to Jade Dome planet. However, during this period of time, Hong had been staying within the Bushka family mansion. That Bushka family was after all an undying family. Maybe the high and mighty Silver, Snow, Marquis, Ji Tiansong could look down on them. However, the rest of the Ji Shi family didn't dare to. Undyings, they were still undyings. Hence Ji Deng hadn't been able to meet Hong. Now, he finally had the chance. Ji Qing was his precious daughter. She was also the reason why Ji Deng was able to rise. The reason why he rose from the bottom to the top was because of his daughter. The moment his daughter was finished, his current power and status would probably disappear too. I definitely won't allow it. Ji Deng clenched his fists. Get someone to lead the way. I want to go to the Morningstar restaurant. Ji Deng ordered. Yes, master. The dark red-skinned, skinny man knelt and said. Morningstar Restaurant's third-level private room. Luo Feng was chatting with his big brother Hong. Suddenly, pong, pong, pong. A knock on the door resounded. HM? Luo Feng frowned. Enter. Hong looked at the door. The door automatically opened. The tall and handsome male attendant bowed respectfully. There's someone downstairs who wants to meet a few guests. Meet who? Luo Feng was curious. He says he wants to meet a man called Hong. The waiter could feel the faint pressure coming from the people in the room, and he couldn't help but become even more humble. This was the real world. If he angered an existence with a certain status, he would most likely lose his life. Big brother, he's here to meet you. Luo Feng smiled at Hong. Ah. Hong looked at the attendant. Let him in. Yes. Only then did the attendant leave respectfully. Who wants to meet me? I don't know many people on Jade Dome planet. Hong shook his head curiously. Luo Feng laughed loudly. To be able to say your name directly, he's probably very familiar with you. Who knows, it might even be that lady Ji Qing. Ji Qing? Hong's eyebrows twitched. Suddenly, footsteps could be heard from the stairs downstairs. It was slightly heavy. Luo Feng and Hong both looked outside. Your Majesty, it's a Universe Level 9 and a Domain Lord Level 9. There's no threat at all. The black-robed bald Dylan sat beside and squinted, communicating to Luo Feng. Ah, Luo Feng nodded. Silhouettes finally appeared outside. It was two men. The Universe Level 9 man had black hair, a square face. His skin was pale, no different from the Chinese of Earth. And the other Domain Lord Level 9 man was taller. His skin was purple. Those long nails were like sharp daggers. His eyes, too, glowed purple. From the way the two walked, the Domain Lord Level 9 should be a bodyguard. How do you do, Hong? The square-faced man looked to Hong. You are? Hong looked curiously at the square-faced man. Let me introduce myself. I'm Ji Qing's father, Ji Deng. The square-faced man said. Luo Feng frowned. Ji Qing's father had appeared. From the looks of it, his big brother had never seen Ji Qing's father before. Hong immediately stood up. Mr. Ji, about you and Ji Qing. After I found out, I immediately rushed back to Jade Dome planet from the Snow Border Starfield. Ji Deng's eyes stared at Hong. It's just that these few days you've been in the Bushka family residence. I didn't want to disturb you. Today I've come without any ill intentions. I'm purely here as Ji Qing's father. I understand. Hong nodded and listened. You're very outstanding. Ji Deng looked at Hong. I heard your performance in the Ganwu Universe Country's Genius Battle was not bad. Even though you weren't absorbed by the Virtual Universe Company, it's undeniable that you're a very outstanding youth. Hong listened attentively. However, Hong, Jilon Deng sighed softly. You and my daughter are different. My daughter lives in the Ji-Shur family, a family that's 100 times stronger than your Black Dragon Mountain Starfield Imperial family. You're a Lone Ranger. You can follow your teacher and wander, with no worries, no pressure. Jilon Deng sighed. However, my daughter lives in the Ji-Shur family. The internal competition within the family is extremely intense. In the Ji-Shur family, the moment you accidentally fall, you'll be stepped on by millions of people. All this, do you understand? I understand. Hong nodded. The internal competition within the Imperial family was intense. Just like the universe's super family, Ji-Shur family, the internal competition was even more intense. Hence, my daughter Ji-Qing cannot walk the wrong path. The moment she does, she'll be beyond redemption. Jilon Deng looked at Hong. And the matter between you and her has already angered my Ji-Shur family's head ancestor. The head ancestor is furious. The entire family is panicking. Hong was silent. Hence, I hope you leave her for Ji-Qing's sake. Don't pester or contact her anymore. Jilon Deng said seriously. Don't communicate with her in the virtual universe network, and leave Jade Dome Planet as soon as possible. I hope you can disappear from her world. As long as you disappear, she'll still be the head ancestor's favorite child. And if you continue to pester her, she'll be beyond redemption. Jilon Deng looked at Hong. Hong was silent. Ka. Hong's fist that was blocked by the table was clenched tightly. It was pale, and his expression was ugly. Luo Feng frowned. As a father, I beg you, let go of my daughter Ji-Qing. I believe you too wish for her to have a beautiful future, right? Jilon Deng looked at Hong. Hong stood there. I understand. Hong nodded. I hope to receive news of you leaving Jade Dome Planet. That way, as a father, I will be incomparably grateful. Jilon Deng bowed slightly, after which he turned and left with his bodyguards. From start to finish, Jilon Deng didn't even notice Luo Feng, nor did he notice the undying Dylan. When an undying didn't want to reveal his identity, how could Jilon Deng and his bodyguards discover him with their strength? The dining hall was silent. Hong, who had been controlling himself, suddenly went pale, after which he shook his head and laughed bitterly. Third brother, isn't this funny? Hong looked at Luo Feng. There's nothing funny about it. Luo Feng shook his head. Hong shook his head. Hong saw things very clearly. Hence, even though Ji-Qing's father seemed very polite, the meaning behind his words, Hong could naturally see it with a glance. This Ji-Qing's father obviously hated Hong very much. He couldn't wait for Hong to leave Jade Dome Planet and vanish from Ji-Qing's world. Being hated by the father of his beloved woman, Hong felt terrible within. Big brother. Luo Feng patted Hong's shoulder. I'm fine. Hong shook his head. Luo Feng couldn't help but frown. What was up with that Silver Snow official? Even if he was an absolute genius, was he not allowed to fall in love? What a joke.